All right, let's get it. Let's get it. I know I'm about 4 minutes earlier than what the timer says, but honestly, I just put it at 8:20 because I didn't know exactly when I'd be ready to go, so I just kind of like put it a little ahead of time. But we're here now. We got Steelers Dolphins tonight, Monday Night Football. Maybe not the most compelling matchup of all time. It's going to be interesting to see because I believe Tua Tagovailoa is coming back to be the quarterback today. So we'll just see if he can pick up the same pace that he was at before, right? It's like, the Dolphins were like really, really impressive earlier this year with Tua Tagovailoa. Now, I've stated that I felt that the Dolphins, like in that Bengals game where he got hurt, I felt the Dolphins actually looked better with Teddy Bridgewater than they did with Tua. There's my water. I felt that they looked better with Teddy Bridgewater than I felt they did with Tua on that Thursday night game. But I'm thinking it probably had to do something to do with the fact that he was probably coming to that game already with a bit of a concussion issue. So, I think it might have more to do with that than it has to do with the fact that Tua isn't any good. Because as we've seen this year, Tua is quite good. So I believe Kenny Pickett is back at quarterback for the Steelers too. So we're going to have a QB1 versus QB1 matchup. Now, the question being, were the Steelers better off with Mitch Trubisky than Kenny Pickett? Because as much as I'm sure Kenny Pickett's going to figure it out, and he's just a rookie, so, probably not fair to, say that he's bad or anything like that, or call him a bust or whatever, as much as I would love to. And not because I don't like Kenny Pickett, but just because he's the Steelers quarterback. So as much as I would love for him to be a bust, it's just like you can't really say that after a couple of games in his rookie season. I'm sure he's going to get better. I'm sure it's going to improve. He seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders. So it's not, it's not like this is like, disinterested Josh Rosen or over partying Jamarcus. Well, no, that's not Jamarcus. Who was the one who partied too much? I know Todd Marinovich did that quite a bit. Johnny Manziel. I don't know why I couldn't think of Johnny Manziel. So it's not like he's over partying Johnny Manziel or hates football Todd Marinovich or, disinterested Josh Rosen or just like, depression-fueled Jamarcus Russell or anything like that. Like this kid's clearly got something good. Like he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's got the right attitude. He could potentially, do a lot of things. It's just, the question is, does he really have enough talent to be a great NFL quarterback? And we haven't seen that so far. We've seen a couple of decent throws, but we've also seen a lot of, mental mistakes. We've seen a lot of, he's had a poised demeanor, and yet his play has not been poised, right? I think it's the main thing with Kenny Pickett. So what we're going to see with the Steelers is, can Kenny Pickett kind of turn to that quarterback that they need him to be? If not, they might need to be drafting another one here in a couple of years. Or maybe they'll play the free agent carousel or something like that, which doesn't seem like a very Steelers thing to do. But, moving on from your quarterback after you drafted him a couple of years ago doesn't seem like a very Steelers thing to do either. So we'll have to see, I think. But either way, the Pittsburgh Steelers are coming into this game after beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and kind of saving themselves from being total dog crap. And so it's like, now they're seen as like a bad team, but not like, this horrible team. Their hope is that, maybe they can build on that and beat the Dolphins. And then if they beat the Dolphins, then suddenly they're right back in the playoff discussion, 3-4 record. You can come back from a 3-4 record, right? But if they fall to 2-5 and they are sitting down there in the basement, tied with the Browns, you're starting to think like, well, this might just be kind of a bust of a season, which I'm sure plenty of Steelers fans have already kind of gotten there. But I don't think it's quite to the point where they're all like that and they're all just like, there's nothing here. Like I think they're all thinking, oh, Mike Tomlin's still the coach. Well, he's never had a losing record before, so maybe he can pull a rabbit out of his hat. You never know. There's also probably a lot of the fact that they've been used to watching Ben Roethlisberger do insane things out of nowhere. So maybe they're expecting, when you least expect it, it might happen again kind of thing. And I sure hope it doesn't. I hope that they never win another game ever again in their entire lives. I hope the Steelers just go 0 and 146 over the next 146 games. But it's also probably not realistic. Well, it's obviously not realistic, but man, Hard Rock Stadium. I love those spiral, like, are they staircases or are they like elevate, like, what do you call that? Like ramps? Are they ramps or are they staircases? Because they look really cool from the outside. You got some veterans from that undefeated Miami Dolphins team, 1972. It seems like every single time you watch the Dolphins on primetime, they're showing that clip of the 1972 Miami Dolphins in their undefeated season. It's like, we get it. They went undefeated in 1972 when you played 5 games less in the season than you do now. It's like there have been other teams that have won 12 games in a season and won the Super Bowl. Was it 12 actually in 1972? I can't remember if that was after they went to 14 games or not. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still impressive to like go an entire NFL season. Okay, it was after they went to 14 games. So they won 14 games, but there have been other NFL teams to win 14 games in a season and then go on to win the Super Bowl. In fact, I think there have been, multiple teams. See if I can find a list here, like list of Super Bowl champions. It doesn't have a list of what their record was that year. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find an easy way to look this up. Oh, you know what I guess I could do? Super Bowl 1. If I just do it this way, and it'll be obnoxious. Now, I don't think that's going to work either because I got to scroll all the way down. We're not going to be able to find this out quickly, but okay. Or if I can find it, like a list of NFL seasons on Pro Football Reference. That seems like a stat that they would keep. Now, this is probably great. Like, this is probably great watching or television or whatever it is, right? Like, me just kind of like looking up interesting stats while we're waiting for the game to start. Like, technically the game's already should have started, but they're not doing anything right now. And also nobody's watching, so it's not like I'm entertaining anybody right now. I know I saw you earlier, Matthew. I saw you said hi, but I also know that, it says there's nobody watching in the stream right now. Anyway, it looks like the Steelers are about to kick off to the Dolphins, so I guess the Dolphins must have won the toss, or maybe the Steelers deferred. I don't know. All right, so it's going to be returned from the end zone. Gets up to about the 28-yard line. That's where he's going to go down with it. So a couple more yards than you would have gotten from just simply a couple more yards than you would have gotten. Okay, so teams that won at least 14 games and won the Super Bowl. Yeah, it hasn't happened the last couple of years, to be fair. Oof. I mean, it looks like it has been a minute. So, I mean, it's not like, okay, so the 2016 Patriots went 14-2, won the Super Bowl. So that was the last time that a team won 14 games in the season and won the Super Bowl. Now, granted, going undefeated is insane. I'm just saying going undefeated. So basically, like, the really impressive part about the Dolphins is that they did like a 14, 15, 16, 17. It'd be like a 17-game winning streak, which I don't know if that's ever been done in NFL. Well, I guess the Patriots and the Patriots who, like, in 2007 when they lost the Super Bowl, they would have had a 17-game winning streak because they would have had to win 16 games and then get to the Super Bowl. So All right, Tua Tagovailoa is in the shotgun formation. He's going to fake the handoff, and then he's going to throw. And that is swallowed up in the backfield. Steelers are all over that one. So that's good if you're a Steelers fan. Gets you off to a good start. That was Tyreek Hill on the catch, by the way. And he has been explosive for the Dolphins this year. But definitely not explosive on that play. All right. Motions a man to his left. Tua throws. He's got number 17, Jalen Waddle. Picks up a first down after the loss on first down. So the Dolphins offense is moving now. I believe that was Waddle anyway, right? Yeah, 17, Jalen Waddle. Yep. Miles Jack on the Steelers. That makes me sad, man. I like Miles Jack, but I can't like him now. Not allowed to. Tua, shotgun formation. Rolls back, throws. He's got a man. It's Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill picks up about 4 or 5 yards after the first down. So, Dolphins are really moving the ball now. Like I said, man, Tua comes back and this offense is suddenly good. Not that they were, bad with Teddy, but they definitely were bad with Skylar Thompson. And it's in Skylar Thompson's defense, who expected him to be, at the same level? But, yeah, you hope Tua's going to be okay. Because there were people advising him to retire. Don't necessarily want to see that, but Tua's going to dump the ball off to Tyreek Hill, who has a bit of a seam up the middle. Not a whole lot, but enough to pick up about an extra 4 yards on the catch. So it's going to be about 2nd and 1 on the next play. And this Dolphins offense is moving, man. This Dolphins offense is moving. Larry Ogunjobi on the Steelers, too. All right, Tua's going to hand the ball off. He's going to get swallowed up in the backfield. I think he might have gotten a yard, but I'm not entirely sure. That's Raheem Mostert on the run. Chase Edmonds was just all over it. Weren't able really to generate much of anything off of that. It's this Dolphins offense right now seems to be very hit and miss. It's like they're either getting first down or they're getting stuffed in the backfield. There's not really a whole lot of 4 or 5, 3, 4, 5 yard plays going on. It's like, either they get it all or they don't get it or they don't get anything. All right, so they're saying it's 1st and 10 on the broadcast, but I'm kind of confused because the last play was definitely not a first down. So what's going on? Let's see. Oh, I guess it was 2nd and 1. Didn't realize it was 2nd and 1. So I guess it was enough for a first down. He did pick up a single yard, which is enough for a first down. Terrell Austin, Steelers defensive coordinator. I was trying to tell people, because he was the Bengals offensive coordinator there for a little bit, and I was trying to tell people, dude, this is a good defensive mind. This Terrell Austin guy, I really, really like him. He's been doing a good job for the Steelers. And the reason for that is because he's a damn good defensive coordinator. I know the Bengals had their struggles when he was a defensive coordinator there here, but I don't think that was entirely his fault. All right, Tua is going to motion Mostert into the backfield. He throws. He's got Mike Gesicki. It's the first down again for about 17 total yards on the pickup. Gesicki is hype. I would be too. Hell, I'm going to get hype if the Dolphins keep playing like this against the Steelers. Let's go for an offensive slaughter. That's what I want to see. Let's get these Steelers what's coming to them. Tua hands the ball off to Raheem Mostert. He's going to fight through some traffic, pick up about 7 yards before he comes down. And it was great blocking, he had a hole, good vision, by the way. He had a hole that ended up closing up on him, and he knew that because of the way that the defense was angled, because that hole was closing, there was another one that was opening, and you just gotta you gotta know when to make that shift. All right, Tua's going to throw into the end zone. It is batted down though by Chase Edmonds. So Steelers hold on that play, but it's going to be 3rd and 3. Dolphins are going to have another opportunity to get a touchdown, but they could also get a first down and extend the drive. Oh, no, it was not knocked away. It just was not caught by Mike Gesicki. It hit him in the face mask. So that was it was basically dropped is what happened. So, got to do better than that. I thought it was a good play by the Steelers, but it really wasn't. It was just a drop. All right, Tua's going to roll back. And he's going to throw. He could have, well, that works out. He's going to throw to Raheem Mostert, he's in for the touchdown. It works out. I was going to say that, if Tua looked like he couldn't find anybody to throw the ball to. So I was going to say, hey, you got plenty of room to run the ball, and at least you'll pick up a first down here. And then he slows down and decides to throw it. And I'm just like, ooh, you better know what you're doing because you have an opportunity to get a first down here. Turned out he did. Because, like I said, he threw it to Raheem Mostert, who had a really good angle, ended up getting a great lead block, and was able to just waltz into the end zone. No real issues at all. All right. Extra point is up, and it's good. And the Dolphins are in the lead 7-0 early in this game. Let's go. I predicted it to be a 31-10 victory for the Dolphins, but I'm hoping for more. I'm hoping for 60-1. Just get like one of those weird 1-point safeties. I don't think there's ever been a game that ended with somebody having 1 point because just that play itself is so rare in the first place. So it's even rarer that it would be the only time that somebody would actually score in a game, All right, now that we got some scoring, I'm going to go ahead and update this banner. Most recently reminded me that the Pittsburgh or the Green Bay Packers lost to the Washington Commanders. Shout out to Tom Grassi. I hope you make it through this difficult time because your team sucks right now. Anyway, I don't think the Packers are booty cheeks, right? I'm not going to put the Packers in tank time or anything like that. I know Tom Grassi would probably want them to. I would imagine if he did his whole power rankings, he'd want to put them in the bad category. I don't think they're quite there, but I'm probably gonna I don't know exactly where I'm gonna put the Packers, but if I had to bet, I'm kind of teetering between playoff hopefuls and playoff hunt, right? Because I think right now the Packers are not playing like a playoff team. That doesn't mean that they aren't one though, right? Because they're doing bad now, but it's week 7 and it's they have 3 wins on the season. So it's not like they're trash. They're just they're going through a rough stretch and they're not going to win the Super Bowl this year. But I could see them getting into the playoffs, I think the Minnesota Vikings are going to run away with the division this year, but I think the Packers, could kind of pull it together and end up in a wild card spot, right? Let's see. Go to playoff predictors and the website anyway, and just see what the standings look like right now. So, if the playoffs started today, the Packers actually would not make the playoffs. The Packers would be the second team out of the playoffs. They would be behind the Los Angeles Rams, who would have the number 7 seed, and they would also be behind the San Francisco 49ers, who would have the number 8 seed. But it's just the Packers are right there, the Rams are 3-3. The Rams just haven't even played their game yet. Let's say, the Rams are on bye this week. So, let's say the Rams lose next week as the Dolphins kick the ball back to the Steelers. Let's say the Rams lose next week and then suddenly it looks like that would put the 49ers in. But also the Rams are playing the 49ers, so that's kind of rough for the Packers, I guess. But, I mean, if the Packers win next week and then the 49ers win, then you would still have the 49ers in the playoffs. So, yeah, that's not great. Packers are going to have to claw their way back to the playoffs. They're going to have to, like, go through some interesting stuff going forward to make it back to the playoffs, especially because next week it's the Bills. And I won't be picking them in my predictions. That's all I got to say. All right, so Kenny Pickett's going to hand the ball off to Najee Harris. Najee Harris is going to fall forward. Doesn't really have a whole lot. I think he manages to pick up about a yard, though. Dude, I'm still, like, laughing over the fact that the Steelers took Najee Harris in the first round last year. Because it's just, like, as good of a, as talented of a player as Najee Harris is, for a running game to work, you have to have offensive line. And the Steelers' offensive line is garbage. Like, you're just not. Ask Emmitt Smith what an offensive line means, right? As Najee Harris does get a couple more yards on that play, so probably picks up about 5, I want to say. It's going to be third down and probably third down and 3. All right. So see if the Dolphins defense can hold here. Kenny Pickett's going to drop back in shotgun formation. He's going to overthrow Deontay Johnson on that pass. I didn't even have anybody around him. He just overthrew him. So this is what I'm saying, man. Like, I'm sure Kenny Pickett has the opportunity. Kenny Pickett, playing for an organization that has historically been successful like the Steelers, Kenny Pickett could develop. He's a rookie. The fact that he's going through some rookie struggles, it's not the end of the world, but I just don't think he's that good. I just don't think Kenny Pickett's that good, All right, Presley Harvin's going to punt the ball away back to the Dolphins. And it's going to bounce out around, I think, the 35-yard line. Let's see where they spot it. Ref is spotting it at the oh wow. Ref's calling it like the 43 or the 45. Ref's calling it the 45. I thought it was like the 33. My God, man, I'm way off. I mean, I obviously didn't have the kind of angle that the refs have, but still, like, that just seems as a yikes. Dolphins are going to get the ball to the 45-yard line, man, especially after what they did on the last offensive possession. Like, the Steelers are already at risk of this game getting out of control. Like, oh, boy. If I was anything other than a Steelers hater, or maybe, I guess, a Dolphins fan, but I am a Steelers hater, so it works out. But if I was anything other than a Steelers hater or maybe a Dolphins fan, this would not be a very entertaining game. I don't think it's going to be. That's why I said 31-10 is my prediction. Because I don't think it's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be compelling. I think the Dolphins are going to steamroll the Steelers, and I think the Steelers are going to get exposed as, like, I mean, yeah, you beat a Buccaneers team that doesn't appear to be any good right now, and you beat the Bengals in week 1 when, quite honestly, the Bengals beat themselves, and the only reason you won is because our long snapper got hurt. So I mean, like, if Clark Harris doesn't get hurt week 1, then Evan McPherson makes that extra point at the end of the game, and it doesn't go to overtime, and we win, right? And then the only win the Steelers had this year is the one last week over the Bucs. And at that point, because the Steelers hadn't won a game all year, that one would be seen less so as like what lately everybody has been saying, which is like, oh, maybe the Steelers aren't as bad as we thought. Instead, it would be like, oh my God, look how bad the Buccaneers are losing to a trash team. Like that's basically what the narrative would be if it hadn't been for that week 1 loss or that week 1 win against the Bengals, which shouldn't have happened. And by the way, that's not me as a Bengals fan saying that like belly aching about the fact that we should have won that game. Like honestly, the Bengals did not deserve to win that game. They probably should have, had it not been for the long snapper issue. But even if we'd won that game, the Bengals didn't deserve to win that game. They were not doing what they needed. It's like last year when we beat the Vikings. We didn't deserve to beat the Vikings. We just kind of lucked into beating the Vikings. If we had beaten the Steelers, we probably just kind of would have lucked into beating the Steelers, honestly. But, I mean, that's what I'm saying about the Steelers. Like, it's not a good win. Like that week 1 victory was not like, oh yeah, I feel good about the Steelers. That should be, you should be thinking, like, I was talking, like, at the time I was still working at Northwestern Mutual, right? And one of my coworkers was a Steelers fan. And I was talking to him about the game and like how he felt about it. And he didn't even want to look me in the eye. He didn't want to look me in the eye because he knew that the Steelers looked awful in that game and just kind of happened to win because the Bengals shot themselves in the foot. The only win that they've had this year that they probably deserved was against the Buccaneers. And even then, that wasn't even a good win. That was just the Buccaneers sucked. And the Steelers took advantage of it, which is, a good way of winning games. And I'm not saying they did. I'm just saying I'm not saying they didn't deserve the win. I'm just saying it wasn't an impressive win. All right, Tua is going to pitch the ball out to Raheem Mostert, who's going to get to the outside. Got a bit of a hole, picks up 5 yards on the play. So that's what you love to see. What you don't love to see is Larry Ogunjobi in a Steelers uniform. He was such a pivotal role for us last year when we were going to the when we were on the Super Bowl run, because I mean, while he unfortunately didn't make it to the Super Bowl because he got hurt, I would almost argue that I don't know if the Bengals make it that far last year without Larry Ogunjobi playing the way he's playing. And so it's a shame to see him in a Steelers uniform. It's an even bigger shame to see him on a team that sucks because he deserves better than that. He's played for the Browns his whole career. Got one taste of success with the Bengals, which, Jalen Waddle up the middle. About 20-yard pickup. Great strike by Tua to just dissect the Steelers defense. But I was about to say, as I was talking, I realized how ridiculous it sounded that I was saying, shame he had to be on, such a losing organization like the Steelers when he could have been with, an example of winning like the Bengals, which is just like, what planet are we living on now? What alternate universe have we entered where the Bengals are like a respectable football team and the Steelers are utter dumpster trash? It's the universe I want to live in, but it's not the one I'm used to, right? So I believe Raheem Mostert once again on the run, and the Steelers defense just has no answer for the Dolphins rushing attack. So he's going to pick up another 12 on that play. Man. But Raheem Mostert, he gets contact a little bit, but just keeps himself going, doesn't let himself get tripped up, and dives over a Steelers player who does bring him down, but isn't able. He's able to pick up a couple extra yards even after he gets hit. But yeah, man, whatever alternate universe we've entered where the Bengals are respectable and the Steelers are booty cheeks that's my favorite universe. Let's live here for a little while longer, please. As stuff like that once again happens, if Raheem Mostert gets to the outside and the Steelers just can't do anything about it, it's like watching the Bengals in 2018 or 2019. That's what it looks like right now. It's like watching the Bengals in 2019, and the Steelers just cannot get anything done. And there's another example. Alex Highsmith actually gets in the backfield, gets near Raheem Mostert, but he just takes a terrible angle on it. After all this talk about how when I remember when Alex Highsmith first started playing, there was all this talk about oh hey, well, if they don't have TJ Watt, this Alex Highsmith guy, he's something else. But I'll tell you what right now, with him being the starter, that's a recipe for disaster. He is not. He seems to be he's one of those guys who's good in a rotational every once in a while role, but is not good enough to be a starter. All right, so Tua's going to fake the handoff again, and he's just going to decide to keep it, and he barrels his way through Devin Bush. Doesn't really get much out of it because Tua, I'm sorry, you're not a fullback. Also, after the last time we saw Tua play football, that was a little bit of a scary move by him to try to truck a defender. And he doesn't even really do it successfully. He tries, and it doesn't work. I mean, kudos to Tua for having that level of toughness. I'm just saying, seeing you get hit like that is not, the most fun thing on the planet. You particularly getting hit like that is scary. All right, Tua, shotgun formation. Great protection. Throws. Hit. And I thought he caught it and then fumbled, but they're saying he didn't even catch it, so it's 4th down. But, yeah. Good there by the Steelers to knock it out. So the Dolphins are probably going to settle for a field goal here, which is fine. Defense is playing well, and the offense is pretty explosive. Okay. So Matthew's cousin, I hope you know that he has access to the chat, right? So he can, I won't tell him, but he can probably read. So if you're gonna take his phone and do whatever and be funny, then that sounds funny and hilarious to me. But he can probably read the chat, and you just told me that, so you kind of just told on yourself. Probably wasn't the smartest move. But how you doing, Matthew's cousin? If you like football, you should subscribe to my channel on your own account. Put out content 6 days a week, 5 days a week, trying to get to 6. Haven't quite got to 6 yet, just because I'm trying to come up with another series to do, and I just don't have it right now. The off season is going to be interesting. I don't even know what I'm going to make content about in the off season. We'll get there though. All right. I like to see things starting out this way. You don't have a phone? Oh, yeah, that's fair enough. If you ever do, come subscribe to my channel. I'm sure Matthew will tell you all about it, but all right. This game is definitely starting out the way you want if you are a Steelers hater like myself. Although obviously football games require more than 15 minutes of good play. They got to keep their foot on the gas pedal. But so far it seems like a pretty good start. All right. You hate him really bad. Well, that's not very nice. I'm sure he's a good person. And once again, you keep telling me not to tell Matthew, but he can read the chat. You're telling on yourself right now by telling me all this stuff. I won't tell him, but he's going to see. You can't delete all of them. It's on my channel, and I don't think I can delete them either. But no, I don't hate him. He's a subscriber to my channel, and he's always on here. He's always talking. He's always making stuff happen. So he's a great, nice person, but you just hate him. That seems a little odd, but I don't know, different strokes. You do you. Me personally, he seems fine to me, and I don't dislike him at all. All right. You know who I do dislike though is the Steelers. I hate them with everything that I have in me, and I will hate them even if they are terrible for the next decade. I will still hate them. And people will be like, well, why do you hate them? They're not a threat. They're so bad. It's like with the Browns. For years I was like, I hate the Browns. And everybody's like, why do you hate the Browns? There's nothing to hate. And I'm like, you don't remember what the Browns fans were like when they had something going for them. This and the Steelers, it's going to be like that with the Steelers. It's going to be like, you don't remember what it was like with the Steelers when they had something to talk trash about. So just honestly, I can't wait. I can't wait until that happens. All I need to do is press what I chatted and it says delete. Okay, well, I mean, you do you if you think that'll work. I do believe though that there's a live chat replay that happens after this video is over. So I mean, it would take Matthew watching through the whole thing, which is probably pretty unlikely. But all right, Kenny Pickett throws. And it's caught by number 88. I don't know who that is. I don't really care about the Steelers, but I will look it up for you guys. Pat Freiermuth. I should know him. I just didn't know he was number 88. Think he just found out I took his phone. Okay. I'm going to tell him that you hate him. Okay. I don't, though. I mean, you can tell him that, but I don't. So, all right, Kenny Pickett. Shotgun formation. He's got Najee Harris to his right. Drops back. Throws. He's going deep, and it's intercepted by the Dolphins. Now that was I don't know if that was entirely Kenny Pickett's fault. Looks like Chase Claypool was the receiver there, and he just fell down on the route, and so not really entirely Kenny Pickett's fault there, but you can almost argue that there was a bit of a push there by the Dolphins corner, because like from what I saw on that replay, it looked like Chase Claypool kind of gets like pushed in the back. Now, I mean, who knows if it's just like a light tap or if it's an actual push. The refs obviously would have like noted that, but like I don't necessarily think it's a huge flop, because like why would you risk that? Why would you risk just falling over to try to get a penalty when you could just go catch the pass, right? So I don't think it's a flop. If it is, then I've lost. I don't have any respect to lose for Chase Claypool because he's an idiot, but I probably arguably would have negative respect for him at that point if he was making even stupider decisions like that. Although actually I would like it because it's bad for the Steelers, right? Do you like me? I don't know you. I don't even know your name. You just told me that you're Matthew's cousin. He's chasing you. Well, that sounds fun. Gonna drop the phone. Okay. Bye, Matthew's cousin. I hope you have a good rest of your day, I guess. That's interesting. Oh, my God. Steelers and Dolphins. We are about 10 minutes into this game so far, and the Steelers just look lifeless. Right? I mean, this is fun for me. This is fun for me. But for y'all watching, like, I don't know how fun this can really be for you, unless you're a Dolphins fan, which I'm sure it's quite fun for you. But if you're not a Dolphins fan, you're like a casual neutral watcher or a Steelers fan, this cannot be fun for you. Once again, for me, it's great. For me, it's awesome because fuck the Steelers. Oh, God, this is going to be a fun episode of the Battle of Ohio podcast this week. Oh, it's going to be so much fun. For me. It's not going to be fun for Thomas, but it's going to be fun for me because I'm going to get to come on. I'm going to get to talk all about how the Steelers, are just, complete, absolute joke, assuming that, the current results hold. And then I get to make fun of Thomas for the Browns losing the most Browns possible way. And it's just like, I wanted the Browns to win, if I could, like, if I could go back in time and change the outcome of that game, I would. But at the same time, it's still going to be fun to talk some smack and be like, bro, what are you guys doing? This is Matthew. I got the phone. What did he say? Well, you can just read it on the chat, and if you can't read it, then he was just messing with you. Is all was happening. All right, Tua's going to pitch the ball out to number 2. Is that Edmonds? Who is that? Chase Edmonds. Oh, so who's the Steelers guy? I thought the Steelers guy was Chase Edmonds. Terrell Edmonds. Okay, Terrell Edmonds is the Steelers safety, and Chase Edmonds is the running back. I'm going to read all of them. Be back in a second. All right. Okay, so Tua is under center. Snaps, hands the ball off. He's going to fall forward, Chase Edmonds, for only a couple of yards, but that's going to be enough for the first down, so it works out. Terrell Austin. I will say I'm not terribly upset that it didn't work out with him now because like Lou Anarumo seems to be great, so it's just like, what do we really need Terrell Austin for? But it could have been so much better than it was. Marvin Lewis's tenure didn't have to end the way it did. It's just, it was a mess. All right, Tua Tagovailoa takes the shotgun snap. He's going to throw over the middle. It's caught. Wide open. Jalen Waddle. He has to go up high for it, but because there's nobody around him, he can easily do that. Comes down with the catch. Tua's overthrowing dudes a little bit today, but it's working out. So, I mean, I guess, like, if he's throwing it somewhere that he knows his guy can go get it, then I guess that works out, right? Like, it looks ugly, but if it keeps working, then I guess it's not that big of a deal. Oh, and Jalen Waddle just like defenders just got lost, completely lost on that play, and that's part of the reason he was just completely wide open. Bad communication on the Steelers' part. All right, once again, Tua overthrowing dudes. That time it's Mike Gesicki, and he can't go up and get it. It's way too high for him. Do I really hate you? No, I don't hate you. I never said I hated you. That was your cousin being dumb. But you believe what you want to believe. But all right, Matthew, bye. All right. Tua Tagovailoa in the shotgun formation. He's motioning Jalen Waddle in the backfield. He's motioning man to his left now. A lot of motion on this play. He's going to throw, and it's almost intercepted. It's once again a high throw. This time for Tyreek Hill, and he gets a hand on it, and then tips it to the defender, who also gets a hand on it but can't bring it in. So, I mean, these overthrows are starting to become a little bit of a problem now. Like Tua's accuracy today is not like, I mean, Tua's moving the ball and he's doing what needs to be done, but his accuracy is not great. I don't hate you, Matthew. Your cousin was just trying to mess with you. I don't know what his deal is. No, I don't hate you. Why would I hate you? You're on my streams all the time and you're making my channel more fun. Why would I hate you? I hate the Steelers though. And the Steelers stopped the Dolphins from getting a touchdown again. So their defense is starting to kind of come to play. But, they're marching down the field regardless. And so that's going to be another field goal that the Dolphins are probably going to take. It's going to be a 13-0 lead. So it's like, the fact that the defense finally started coming to play doesn't really matter because the offense can't get anything done. I thought you told my cousin you did, but you don't. Okay, I'm sorry for blaming. You can forgive me. I hate my cousin so much. I'm going to stay. Well, I hope you do stay, Matthew. I don't hate you. I don't know. I hope it wouldn't even make sense that I do hate you. I don't even know you, but you're always on my streams and you're always commenting on my stuff. So I mean, I have no reason to hate you. I think you're a pretty cool kid. I wouldn't have sang happy birthday to you if I hated you. No, your cousin's just trying to mess with you. Also, if I did, why would I tell your cousin that? Like, why would I confide that in your cousin who I just met, who's going to be on, you're going to be able to read everything that he says anyway. Like, that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense from my perspective to, drop that kind of news that way. I think I would just tell you myself. But I don't, so it doesn't matter. All right, Steelers starting to, like I said, lose a little bit. They're doing better on defense at least, so it's not like a catastrophe anymore. But they're still down 13-0. So I mean, that can't feel good if you're a Steelers fan or a Steelers player or anything like that. Oy. All right, man, what a week for the NFL. Like, I mean, it seems like every week there's just been some crazy outcomes. Like this year is just weird. Like weirder than normal. Like you don't normally get this kind of like craziness happening. So the Bengals finally did their whole offense explosion thing this week. Joe Burrow with the third most passing yards in Bengals franchise history in a single game this week. Obviously, he had the most passing yards in franchise history against the Ravens last year. And then the second most is still Boomer Esiason, but the third most was this week against the Falcons. And the only reason they didn't break the 40-point barrier is because they knelt on it when they were on, basically on the goal line at the end of the game. Cowboys beat the Lions 24-6. So much for that like high-powered Lions offense. Titans beat the Colts 19-10. Commanders beat the Packers 23-21, which we already know because I was streaming the end of that after the Bengals game was over. Panthers beat the Buccaneers 21-3, which is just like, man, the Buccaneers, dude. Like, I don't understand the Buccaneers. Like, what's going on with them? Is Tom Brady's personal life really getting that much in the way of football? Like, I mean, I don't think so. It's just the only thing I can think of that is really the difference as to why the Buccaneers are suddenly so bad. Giants beat the Jaguars 23-17. I remember we watched the tail end of that. Ravens beat the Browns 23-20, and the most Browns way to lose a game ever. Jets beat the Broncos 16-9. I kind of watched the tail end of that. That was not a very compelling game, but there was decent defense, to be fair. At least it was good defense. All right, so the Dolphins are going to kick it back to the Steelers again, and it's going to go for a touchback again. Raiders beat the Texans 38-20 because, God, they better have. Seahawks beat the Chargers 37-23, and I believe that was that Thursday Night Football? I can't remember now. No, that was just a 4 p.m. game. So Seahawks are possibly a good team, possibly a really good team. All right, back to the action. Kenny Pickett is going to hand the ball off to Najee Harris. Najee Harris is going to fight forward for about 4 yards on the pickup. So, I mean, that one was a good one. Can I have my son come up? I can't right now. He's doing D&D with his friends right now. So and he's like the dungeon master, so he can't leave. So right now he's not able to come upstairs now. And then my other one's in bed. All right, Kenny Pickett, shotgun formation. I'll have him do it at one point. It's just, you gotta be the right moment, right? Because they often aren't available at the same time that I'm streaming. It's part of the reason why I stream at the times that I do. D&D, it's Dungeons and Dragons. It's this game where you like. It's kind of like a board game and an RPG and just like fantasy imagination and stuff all kind of rolled into one. I've only really ever played once, but I mean it seems fun. I just could never really get into it myself. All right, so Kenny Pickett's going to toss it out to Pat Freiermuth on that play, and he's going to catch to get the first down. Seems like Pat Freiermuth is about the only offensive weapon the Steelers have right now in the passing game. Najee Harris, for as talented as he is doing okay as a runner, but also not that great. And he's going to go out on that particular play. Just a substitution. He's not hurt or anything like that. He had a great block, though, to give Kenny Pickett some extra time to make that throw, though. So, kudos to Najee Harris on that. Too bad he can't block for himself while running. All right, Kenny Pickett, shotgun snap. He's going to hand the ball off to Deontay Johnson, who's going to get out to the edge a little bit and pick up about 3 yards on the play. Not much to speak of there on either end. Yeah, Najee Harris averaging 3.7 yards per carry right now. So that's decidedly not good enough. On the other end, Raheem Mostert is averaging 7.2 yards per carry. So, I mean, that's damn impressive. All right, Kenny Pickett's under center. He's going to motion a man out to his right. Hands the ball off to not Najee Harris. Whoever that is. I actually don't know who their backup running back is. But he picks up 3 yards on the play either way. That is Jaylen Warren from Oklahoma State. He's a rookie, allegedly. I don't remember I don't remember studying him in the draft. But I suppose. He's the Steelers backup running back. I know that because I looked it up. All right. And then the other game, obviously, on Thursday Night Football was, the Cardinals-Saints game, which, if you like scoring, there was plenty of that. Those two teams combined for, 76 total points. It was, definitely different than what we've been used to on Thursday Night Football lately. But, we're watching the last of the Sunday night or the Sunday games right now, and then we've got Bears-Patriots tomorrow, which is not horribly consequential. Like when it comes time for me to make up the actually, I don't even know. Do I have the Patriots? I can't remember if I have the Patriots in the top 14 in my power rankings or not. Let's see. Let's go to the studio bookmarks. And here we go. I, at least as far as last week goes, I did have them in the top 14, just barely, but I had them in the top 14. I had them in at number 12, which is impressive because I don't think the Patriots are that good. I think they were coming off that big win over the Browns though, so that's part of why I had them where I had them. But let's see, right now, the Patriots are coming off, like I said, that big win over the Browns. So before that, Patriots beat the crap out of the Lions. So, okay, that's why, because the Patriots have been doing pretty well lately. Barely lost to the Packers, which I was kind of impressed by, considering Bailey Zappi was their starting quarterback, and we didn't know that the Packers were bad yet. Lost to the Ravens, but had a bit of a comeback in that game. Beat the Steelers week 2. And then lost to the Dolphins pretty badly week 1. So, okay, so maybe I'm just remembering the Patriots being worse than they are. So they're fine. Maybe 12 isn't so bad for them. I won't knock them down too hard. Although, obviously, the Jets are going to be going up. All right, Kenny Pickett, shotgun formation. He's looking around. Decides to bail on the play. Decides to run. And I don't think he gets, I think it's going to be 4th down. Don't think he quite gets it. He tries to extend the arm to get it, but I don't think he got it, so it's going to be 4th down. And Steelers look like they're going to go for it here. They're calling that like a full yard too. All right, handoff, and he's got it. All right, so Steelers convert on the 4th down conversion attempt, which it was at midfield, so it's pretty much probably a good idea to go ahead and go for it, though, especially because you're starting to fall behind. And I mean, you're giving them a short field, but you're not giving them like an excessively short field if you lose the ball at midfield, right? So, all right. Who's going to be moving this week in the power rankings? See, Bills, Eagles, Chiefs, Giants, Vikings. Get to that in a second. Kenny Pickett hands ball off, or no, fakes the handoff, then tosses it to Najee Harris, who's just juking and spinning dudes out of their socks, and shows why he was a first-round draft pick right there. So he picks up the 1st down after it looked like there was no chance of him getting it. Let's see. Bengals are probably going to move up. Buccaneers are going to move way down. I can tell you that right now. 49ers are probably going to move down. Jets are going to move up. Packers are going to move down like an entire section. All right. Kenny Pickett going to hand the ball off to Najee Harris, who breaks a couple tackles, gets about 4 yards, but it's better than nothing, which is what he was about to get. So Chargers are probably going to move down. Falcons, I think, are probably going to stay put. Like, they might move down a little bit, but let's see. Browns are going to move down. Seahawks are probably going to move up. Dolphins, if they keep this up, the Dolphins are probably going to move up back into the playoff hunt. Steelers, I don't know. It might move down. Kenny Pickett's going to fake the handoff to Najee Harris. Throws. He's got Chase Claypool for about a 5-yard pickup. Not enough for the 1st down, so it's going to be 3rd down, but 3rd down and 1. Steelers have been having a lot of those today. Panthers are going to move up. I can tell you that. The Panthers are no longer going to be the worst team in the NFL after their big win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Commanders, obviously, are going to move up. Cardinals? I don't know, because it doesn't really feel like the Cardinals are the worst team in the NFL. Maybe the Steelers go there, although it'd be hard with 2 wins. But although if Kenny Pickett keeps overthrowing dudes like that, he overthrew Deontay Johnson on the short 3rd down attempt, and now it's going to be 4th down, and I imagine the Steelers are going to punt now. So yeah, if the Steelers keep playing like this, it's going to be hard to argue with them as the worst team in the NFL. Although the Broncos could be there. Like the Broncos, it's so hard to say that the Broncos are in tank time, but with people have been like talking about trading Russell Wilson lately. And if that's what's going on, then you might be in tank time. But I mean, dude, the Panthers traded Robbie Anderson and Christian McCaffrey, and they still beat the crap out of the Buccaneers. So, like, they're obviously not the worst team in the NFL at the exact moment. They might be back, but right now they're obviously not. God, it's really, I don't know who's going to be the worst this week. If the Steelers keep up looking like this, it might be them, especially because the Buccaneers look bad this week again. So the fact that the Steelers beat them doesn't look like as big of a deal. I don't know, man. Tell you one thing, I don't want the Steelers to be the worst team in the NFL record-wise by the end of the year because I don't want them to get like a really high draft. I mean, they're going to get a high draft pick, but they're not going to get like they don't necessarily need to get the number 1 draft pick, right? But then again, you never know. Like, I mean, was Kevin Colbert holding this team together? Because, like, you know, is his successor going to be as good at drafting? You just don't know. Tell you one thing, I tried that garlic guajillo steak. Guajillo. We sound like a gringo saying that, huh? But I tried that garlic guajillo steak from Chipotle, and I'm sure it has the potential to be good, but it tasted real dry when I got it. But then again, it might have just been sitting around for a while, which is kind of the risk you take at fast food restaurants. You know, if you're and they're not like fast food, but they're definitely like the food comes fast, right? So it's like with fast food restaurants, you either get like, you know, like you're gonna have to wait forever. And I mean, maybe not forever, but like by what you expect going to a fast food restaurant, you're going to have to wait forever because they got to get through a huge line of people, or you're going to get food that's sitting around forever. So it's just really kind of like pick your poison, which is, I guess, why it's cheap, but it ain't even that damn cheap anymore. Like, you know, fast food is getting way too expensive of all things. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Boy. Golly, gee whiz, sir. Man, Tua has been throwing quickly today, too. Like, I've kind of noticed that. Like, he's not even, like, waiting to see if he's going to have good protection. He's just getting rid of the ball, like, quick. Like, he's not even giving his offensive line time to break down. He's just, like, figuring out what he's doing right away and moving. And it's working, too. Like, I mean, that's the thing. Like, if you make really quick, like, figure it out right now decisions on what you're going to do, and it works, then I don't know how teams are going to stop you. Obviously, other than the Bengals defense, who was doing a perfectly fine job of stopping him. But anyway, Tua and the Miami Dolphins offense are going to come back out on the field after the Steelers did finally get going and get themselves on the board. So I actually, once again, not keeping up with the banner. Something I got to get used to. All right, so Dolphins are currently at 13, and the Steelers are at 3. Didn't save. All right, Tua is in the shotgun formation. He's going to fake the handoff. He's going to throw to Tyreek Hill. Good coverage there. So passes. I don't know if it's necessarily broken up, but it's just way too tight coverage to be able to go catch that. So maybe not the best, most open receiver of all time there. Can't tell if that's a Tua problem or. I didn't know Mike McDaniel apparently used to be a coaching intern for Mike Shanahan's Denver Broncos. Or was that Washington? Actually, it looked like it was Broncos, but could be wrong. All right, Tua, shotgun formation. Going to roll back, throws quickly yet again, and it's complete for about a 7-yard pickup to Trent Sherfield. Trent Sherfield. Right on. Trent Sherfield. That's what's up. If you're going to be doing plays like that on the Steelers, then, I'll take it personally. All right. Dolphins coming back out onto the field after the short pickup, but it's going to be 3rd and 3. Tua's in the shotgun formation. He's calling out something to his line. Takes a snap, throws. It's caught once again by Trent Sherfield, and that's going to be a first down on the play. It's about a 4-yard pickup, but it was 3 yards to go, so you'll take that. You will definitely take that. Told my group chat the Steelers are booty because they are. I think that win over the Buccaneers, it was, came with a lot of fanfare, but it's looking like right now that may have had more to do with the Buccaneers being bad than the Steelers being good, because the Steelers are clearly bad. All right, Tua's going to hand the ball off, and Raheem Mostert, I believe, is going to fall forward for about 4, I think, yards on the pickup. So that's good. All right, Mike McDaniel is a bit of a mastermind, really, when you think about it. I really like that coaching hire for the Dolphins. I thought personality-wise, he fit in exactly with what they were trying to do, especially getting away from like the hard-ass Brian Flores. Is Tua throws, and it is broken up. Intended for Tyreek Hill, didn't get anywhere, so it's going to be 3rd down and 7 now. But interestingly enough, Brian Flores is now a defensive assistant with the Pittsburgh Steelers, so this is Brian Flores hoping to get a revenge game. Not doing a very good job of it, though, because that defense, obviously, Brian Flores is not in charge of the Steelers' defense. But, for what it's worth, the Steelers' defense, although have been playing okay at times, have not been having a very good game. The Dolphins, Tua in particular, has been showing Brian Flores what's up. Like, bro, this is why I wanted you out. All right, Tua, shotgun formation. It's going to roll back, throws, and it's dropped. Dropped by Chase Edmonds. He had it. He had the angle, too. He could have had the first down. He just drops it. Just totally, completely drops it. So that's going to set up 4th and 7. Steelers going to get a chance to go back out of the field. Ugh, why am I yawning? It's like 9 o'clock. Man, that was such a – he had a great angle on that, too. Like, I mean, that would have been a first down if he could have caught it. But it's not just about making a great throw. It's not just about running a great route. It's also about actually catching the ball. All right, so that's going to be a bad snap on the punt. But he ends up making up for it. And great coverage on the play, too. He's going to be tackled around the 13-yard line after attempting to return a little bit. So despite it being a bad snap, ended up making a good punt out of it. And then the coverage made up for it entirely. So he almost had like the 0 return there. All right, Steelers are going to try to come back out here on offense and try to get something done. But I'll tell you right now, it's not looking good based off of what we've seen so far. We got – where are we? We got about 9 minutes left in the second quarter, and then we're going to be on to the half. And as things currently stand right now, it's looking like it's not going to be – terribly compelling on either end. Y'all don't forget to check out the Battle of Ohio podcast, which is going to stream live tomorrow on my other channel, the Battle of Ohio podcast. And that's me and Thomas Stargell, who's a Browns fan. We're just going to go at it and talk about kind of how things went this week. And, if you were paying attention earlier, things went pretty great for me and not so great for him. Although we're both going to have a lot of fun making fun of the Steelers, I think. So that's going to be, they're calling that the 14-yard line, by the way, not the 13, which is what I said. You know what? I think I'm out of water. So while we're on a commercial, I'm going to go get some water. Back just in time. Life without Big Ben. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about life without Big Ben, because you don't just get all the crazy weird stuff happening. All right, can we not put up a shrine to how amazing Big Ben is real quick? Like, I mean, I don't really care. Kenny Pickett and Mitch Trubisky have not been good. Tied for the last touchdown passes in the NFL, and one of the worst in terms of yards per pass. I do like to see that. I can tell you right now, I do like to see that. Steelers. Oh, it's a new era. Don't got to worry about the big bad Pittsburgh Steelers anymore. As Kenny Pickett dumps it off to the left there. And that is number 81. Zach Gentry on the catch. Loses about 3 yards. Dolphins are all over it. That was a guy with a fantastic mane of lion hair there. I don't know who that is, but kudos on the hair. Try to figure that out later. I didn't catch his number, but I'm sure I'll see it again. All right, Kenny Pickett, shotgun snap. He's going to throw. He's got a man. It's caught this time by number 14. George Pickens. Hope I don't have to get used to talking too much about that name going forward, but he got about 20 yards on that pickup, so, I mean, that's a good one right there. Also, just looking through the Dolphins roster here, I'm going to guess, oh, wait, here, I might see it, 45, which is Duke Riley. Really? He doesn't have super long hair in this picture, but that's definitely 45. So I guess Duke Riley's got that amazing head of hair. All right, Kenny Pickett's going to dump it off short this time, and it's going to be tackled there, met by Duke Riley for only about a 3-yard pickup. That's Pat Fryermuth on the catch. Former Ohio State tight end. And that is a great transition, by the way, for as far as me, because I'm getting tired of seeing these Kentucky players play for the Steelers. But when Ohio State players play for the Steelers, it's perfectly fine for me, because, hate seeing the Kentucky players go there, because I'm just like, I got to root against you now, and I don't want to. Devin Bush is still – well, no, Devin Bush played for Michigan. I like Michigan too. But when Ohio State players go there, man, that's easy for me. I'm just like, yeah, fuck Ohio State, right? All right, Kenny Pickett, shotgun snap. He's going to hand the ball off to Najee Harris, who's going to find a bit of a seam on the side. Not too much of one, though. Picks up about 3 yards on the play. But it's going to be 3rd and short, so, it works out. Normal positions. It's the PFF chat that I'm part of. All right. So it's going to be 3rd and 2 for the Steelers. See if the Dolphins can get off the field here. From the 48-yard line. Kenny Pickett, shotgun snap. He's going to throw, and it is caught by Deontay Johnson, who is becoming a bit of a favorite target of one Kenny Pickett. I feel like George Pickens, this would be a great opportunity to develop some good chemistry with George Pickens. I mean, imagine saying Pickett to Pickens all the time. Like, just kind of rolls off the tongue. I guess I'm glad it's not happening, because I don't want it to happen for this particular team. But it seems like there's an opportunity there to develop some chemistry at the very least. And as I say that, I guess I manifested it, because Kenny Pickett threw it to George Pickens. It's only about a 5-yard pickup, but, obviously 5-yard pickups are good, especially on first down. I'm getting a little tired of all these notifications on my computer. Can you stop it, please? Close that. All right. Kenny Pickett, shotgun snap, throws. It's caught by George Pickens. Nobody's around him, and he just lightly walks over to the out-of-bounds marker right next to the first down point. So I don't know exactly why the Dolphins just let him be wide open like that, but whatever. So the Steelers are going to have the ball at about the 35-yard line. And so at the very least, that's field goal range. So, I mean, you can keep things a little bit alive by going and getting field goals. All right, Kenny Pickett under center. Motions a man to his left and hands it to that man, who then dumps it off to Chase Claypool on the reverse. And he goes basically nowhere, but is able to actually evade enough defenders to get back across the line of scrimmage. And then there's a flag on top of that. Might be holding, which is tends to be what happens when you have like a play that takes that long to finish, because somebody's bound to hold at some point. But we'll see. Oh, illegal block in the back on the offense. Okay. So, I mean, that's the thing. When the longer a play goes, the more likely you're going to get somebody who does some sort of illegal block or hold or whatever on somebody else. But yeah, he was totally just like blocking the back, which you're not allowed to do, of the long-haired one. I forget his name again. Duke Riley. Blocking him in the back all day long, and it was super obvious about it too. All right, Kenny Pickett. Shotgun snap. Rolls back. Looking around. Doesn't seem to be able to find anybody. Finally finds somebody. That's Chase Claypool, who's going to pick up about 6 yards or so on the play. It's going to end up being 2nd and 10 either way. Only really gets back to about the original line of scrimmage. Let's see. Yeah, finds Chase Claypool relatively short. Gets it up past the 40. And hard to see where he went out just because of the angles that the camera's taking. But according to this, it's at the 35. So it's going to be 2nd and 9, not 10. Pitch to Najee Harris and swallowed up in the backfield. Goes nowhere. Loses about 1.5 yards, maybe 2 yards. So it's going to be 3rd and 11 or 12, depending on where they spot it. Is that Melvin Ingram? That's not Melvin Ingram, is it? Is that like he plays for the Chiefs, right? Like Melvin Ingram doesn't play for the Dolphins. Oh no, that is Melvin Ingram, number 6. Jeez, he's all over the place. Like, why can't he keep a job? He's not that bad, is he? Obviously, he's got good plays like that, but yeah, Melvin Ingram on the stop there. All right, Kenny Pickett's going to take the snap. Can't find anything. Just decides to run up the middle, and he's got it all day. Dolphins get great pressure, and then they can't convert on that pressure, and Kenny Pickett just runs up the middle and gets like about 15 yards on the run. Guess you're not expecting that out of him. Yep, snap. And got good pressure coming from the right, but great blocking on the left. So Kenny Pickett just kind of like moseys on that way and then eventually realizes there's nobody to throw to. So he sees a hole and he takes it. Damn. Well, the Steelers are definitely in field goal range now. But if the Dolphins don't clamp down, they're going to let them march down for a touchdown. Yep. Najee Harris takes the handoff, and like 3 or 4 Dolphins get on him, but nobody can bring him down, and he barrels through another guy to eventually gets taken down, but not until he gets about a 12-yard pickup on the play. So that's going to be another first down. So the Steelers' offense is starting to move now. Better than where it was at before, for sure. All right, Kenny Pickett snaps the ball to Najee Harris, who gets a couple of yards, but then gets just completely wrapped up and taken down. Not much there. Dolphins are probably tired of getting run on. You know, Steelers basically like, my guy's better than your guy, and the Dolphins guys are just like, we can't let them keep doing that. So, yeah. Still 13-3, Dolphins over the Steelers, but Steelers are knocking on the door, so that scoreline is probably going to change here in a minute. And then the Dolphins will probably have maybe a minute left to go try to get some extra points on the board. So, I mean, we could go into the half with only about a touchdown lead for the Dolphins, which it was looking like they were going to run away with it there for a minute. But they just kind of, their offense slowed down. But Steelers have not been able to get in the end zone quite yet. So, that's Dolphins still got that going for them. Still got that going for them. If you happen to be watching, feel free to give the channel a like on the video, and give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. I put out content 5 days a week, trying to get to 6. Just haven't really come up with that idea for the 6th piece of content, but put out Bengals reaction videos after every Bengals game. I try to stream at least 3 times a week. And usually I guess I stream 4 times a week, right? Because I stream Monday nights and I stream Thursday nights, and then I stream Sunday nights, and then I also stream a 1 p.m. game, right? Unless obviously if the Bengals are playing at 4:25, then I'll stream the 4:25 game. But generally I try to keep my 4:25 open because I like to have some time in the middle of the day to go get lunch and stuff like that. But on top of all that, I put out Bengals reaction videos. I put out power rankings every week. I do a podcast with my buddy Thomas Stargell, who's a Browns fan, and it's called the Battle of Ohio Podcast, and I'll post clips on this channel from time to time. I'm trying to think of one more thing to do with some creativity. Last year I was doing game previews, and I had a buddy who would play a caricature of an opposing fan, but he got busy this year and wasn't able to do it. So I'm trying to fill that void up with something else that's creative. I just haven't really been able to come up with a good idea. But if you got something, let me know. And if you're watching and you enjoy, feel free to subscribe because obviously not really a whole lot going on in the chat right now, but from time to time, especially during Bengals games, we tend to have more active chat. At least lately we have, but it's going to be what it's going to be from time to time. Nobody's coming to me to listen about the Steelers and the Dolphins unless you really hate the Steelers, and then you want to hear somebody else who really hates the Steelers. Oh, man, Kenny Pickett throws a rainbow to George Pickens, who I believe comes down with that. Had no separation, but found some separation at the very end and just goes up and gets that ball. George Pickens, man, he's a talent. I'll tell you that right now. Yep, just jumps backwards and gets that, manages to get the feet down. Noah Igbenogany's all over him, but it doesn't matter because George Pickens is just I'm bigger than you. Now, the question is, did he get both feet down? Because he gets one foot down, and he gets the other foot down, but his hand comes down out of bounds. However, I do think the second foot came down before the hand came down out of bounds. So, yeah, and they're not even really reviewing it. So, extra points up, it's good. Dolphins are now in the lead 13-10. They're still leading, but they can we stop with these notifications? Anyway, the Dolphins are still leading, but they are starting to kind of lose that lead. So the offense kind of needs to get back to the point where it was going before. Because otherwise, now they're risking losing control of this game. And now there's still 1:50 left in the second half, or in the second quarter. So we could see the Dolphins quickly go down the field and maybe get a field goal, even a touchdown. They have 2 of their 3 timeouts left. So, I mean, if they can get some offense going, then they can do something. But, right now, it's, I thought that it was looking like the Dolphins were just going to run away with this game early on. And they've let the Steelers hang in there, which is the biggest sin you can make when you're playing against a downtrodden team like the Steelers. If you let them hang around, that could be disastrous. Yeah, great foot control there by George Pickens to get his foot down before his hand touches out of bounds. Oh, and the kickoff is muffed. Luckily, there's nobody around, and Raheem Mostert's able to get on top of it, but it means he gets tackled or he gets touched down at the 15-yard line. So that's a rough place to start, especially when you got to go do a 2-minute drill and you only have 2 timeouts. But then again, with the way the offenses are anymore in the NFL, it's that's plenty of time, really, especially with the 2 timeouts. You can go get big chunk plays, you're going to be fine. And that's really what the NFL is about anymore, right? It's about getting chunk plays. It's not about running like 4 or 5 yards at a time like it used to be. It's about going and getting the big chunks. All right, Tua shotgun formation. He's going to throw. He's got a man. It's caught up the middle. And that is number 14 again, Sheffield with the catch. And he gets it down to about the 45-yard line. So that's what I'm talking about, man. These offenses that can just like go get big chunks constantly. Trent Sherfield with the catch. And I mean, these offenses can just do that, down the middle of the field, and especially right now because you have time to let the clock drain. Like, you don't have to take your time out yet. So, Steelers don't pay as much attention to the middle of the field because they know the Dolphins are on a short clock, but they're not under that much time stress just yet. And as exemplified, Tua hands off to Raheem Mostert instead of throwing because they have time to burn, and he's going to run it for about 6 yards. And the Dolphins can basically do whatever they want right now, right? Like the Dolphins can just just do whatever game plan they want because they have time and they have 2 timeouts. So Tua is going to drop back and he's just going to run up the middle and he's going to dive. Looked to me like he dived a little bit early. I don't know where the refs spotted the refs are spotting it a yard short. Like, I don't know why he dove there. He could have dove like. All right, there's a flag on the third down. Like, I don't know why he not dove. He slid a yard early, and he kind of screwed himself by doing that because like now it's third down, and now there's a flag on the play, so I don't even know what the flag's about. False start on the Dolphins. Repeat third down on Liam Eichenberg. Yeah, I don't know about the decision by Tua to slide that quickly. Like, you could have. I mean, I guess I get it. He's trying to protect himself, like particularly right now, after the big concussion. You're trying to protect yourself, but you probably could have gotten an extra yard on that. Like, you definitely could have gotten an extra yard on that. He slid really early. Got 2 people watching right now. Feel free to leave a comment, like the video, subscribe to the channel, whatever you want to do. But good to have you here. And if you put a comment, I'll put it up down here. All right, Tua throws. He's got Tyreek Hill wide open on the sideline. And now you're starting to run out of time, but I imagine this is where you use your timeouts. That's actually, I guess the Dolphins already used one of them. So that's going to be their final timeout. They got 21 seconds left. And I imagine it's basically just going to be shot to the end zone time at this point because worst case scenario, you're at least going to probably come away with a field goal here, but see if you can get some end zone shots or maybe some sideline shots, right? Don't do it the way the Browns did it, right? The Browns had like 36 seconds or whatever left at the end of their game, and they just decided to throw down the middle, and they had no sense of urgency about getting back up at the line, and Jacoby Brissett just like instead of trying to throw to the side or whatever, still throwing up the middle with like 6 seconds left in the ball game. And I just don't entirely know what he was trying to do there. Hopefully the Dolphins are a little smarter about it. Ah. 36 governors, huh? NFL is trying to remind everybody to vote, as you should too, if you're of voting age, which I know not everybody who watches my channel is of voting age. But if you are of voting age, make sure you go vote. It's very important. And I mean, the fact of the matter is, I'm not going to get political on my channel. I never ever want to do that because it's kind of like the opposite of what I'm trying to do with a sports channel. But I will say the only thing I will say, which I feel is accurate, like regardless of where you fall on the political spectrum. But if you don't vote, you don't get to complain, right? Like if you don't vote, then you have no right to say anything about what's going on in the country. Like if you vote, at least you did the most you could about it. But I mean, I don't really care, if you're, conservative or liberal or whatever. Just go vote, man. Go make your voice heard. People died for that right. Go use it. Oh boy. Steelers defense is definitely falling apart at the worst possible time right now. I guess not the worst possible time would be the end of the game, but as far as the first half goes, this is definitely the worst possible time to be falling apart like this. The Dolphins are just like taking whatever the Steelers would give them to let them get as many yards as they possibly can. Oh God, did the Lions turn the ball over 5 times in their game? Yeah, no wonder they got destroyed. See, Jared Goff threw 2 interceptions and then fumbled twice, and then Jamal Williams fumbled once. Jesus, so Jared Goff himself gave the ball away 4 times. Can't win doing that. You just can't. I know that's like profound knowledge. Like, well, yeah, you can't win giving the ball away 4 times, but still worth noting that you gotta make that part of your game plan, right? Protect the ball. All right, Tua shotgun formation, empty backfield, throws, and it's bobbled, and Tyreek Hill manages to knock the ball away from Sutton, who almost intercepted it, but it was bobbled and looked like he was going to come down with it, and then Tyreek Hill just kind of like knocked it out of the way. That was Cam Sutton, by the way, who basically had the interception in his hands, couldn't quite fully get it, and then Tyreek Hill manages to knock it out of his hands. Part of it is he fell into Tyreek Hill, but I think Tyreek Hill tried to like take it away from him, but the important thing is he got his hands up in there and knocked it away. Minka Fitzpatrick almost came and took the bobble away. So Dolphins kind of lucked out on that one. All right, there's another flag. Delay of game on the Dolphins. Y'all are kind of shooting yourselves in the foot on this drive, aren't you? Oof. All I got to say is oof. Big, gigantic oof. All right, 2nd and 15. 2nd and 15. Tua is in the shotgun. He's going to roll back. He's going to throw to Raheem Mostert on the side, who doesn't really do anything with it. Does catch it, but falls backwards out of bounds. So now it's going to be 3rd down and like 12. You got 11 seconds left, so I think it's pretty much at the point where, like, I don't know if a 1st down really does much for you here because, I guess it maybe gives you, like, 1 extra play. I guess it's like if you don't have anything open in the end zone, maybe you take the 1st down and then try to spike it. But even then, it's just like you almost basically just have to take the field goal at that point anyway. Yeah, and Tua's just going to dump it off to Raheem Mostert on the sideline. Now it's going to be 4th down and like 10, and you're going to take the field goal. So it's just like, I don't know. It looked like there wasn't a whole lot of there was a little bit of pressure on Tua there, so you kind of just got to like protect the ball at that point. All right, Dolphins kicker is going to come out, and I don't even know who the Dolphins kicker is. Schneck? No, it's Jason Sanders. I don't know why I thought it was Schneck. His name was Schneck. Jason Sanders. I'm not terribly familiar with him, but it's not Schneck. All right. Kick is up, and it's right down Broadway. It's good. 47-yard field goal attempt. Would have been good from 61 yards, apparently. All right. So Dolphins get back on the board before the end of the half. Leave the Steelers 2 seconds. So that's probably going to be enough time to, I guess for the Steelers to try to get a kickoff return, or, if they just take a touchback, then, maybe like a Hail Mary. But I don't think Kenny Pickett has the arm strength for that. So, the Steelers, I imagine, probably are just going to like kneel on the ball, or maybe they hand it off to Najee Harris, see if he can break a big run. Chris Collinsworth, the eternal, my boss, by the way, I guess technically, since like I work for PFF and he owns the company. So like at some point on the chain, he's my boss. All right. It's going to be a squib kick by the Dolphins. And so they're basically going to force the Steelers to try to return this because they don't want like some big Hail Mary attempt. And Benny Snell, that's anyway, he takes it and gets like taken down, and then that's going to be the end of the half. But Benny Snell, one of those former Kentucky players who ended up on the Steelers, who makes me very sad. I mean, you got Benny Snell, you got Bud Dupree. I swear I feel like I remember them getting another UK running back at one point. I hate seeing these guys go to the Steelers. Like they're good people. Well, good players. Not necessarily. I mean, they might be good people. They might not be good people. But it's not really about good people or not. It's about they're good players, and I don't want to see them on the Steelers. If they are good people, then great. Go be good people on a different team. Okay, we're at halftime. Dolphins are nursing a 6-point lead when it looked like they were going to run away with the game. So, kind of need to start turning it back on, right? But does seem like the way that they're playing right now, they'll probably be able to keep it under control, but you just don't know. You just don't know. You only got a half of action so far, so just keep your foot on that gas pedal. See if Tua can get back to the point where he's just wheeling and dealing, right? Because it's like he's kind of slowed down too, right? And I don't know what was up with that. Like he slid. He slid on second down way too early and ended up not getting a first down. I don't know what was up with that. Oh boy. Got one person watching right now. Whoever you are, leave a comment in the chat and I'll put you up on the screen. We'll have a little talk, especially because it's halftime right now and there's really not a whole lot else to do, especially in a game like this where it's just like there's a little bit of action, but it's not really the most compelling game of all time. Otherwise, I'll probably just find some sort of topic to start ranting about. But if you're new, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and watch out for the other stuff that I put out. Tomorrow, I got a Bengals reaction video that's going to be coming out. And then day after that is going to be power rankings. And then Wednesday night's going to be the Battle of Ohio podcast. I might come up with, I don't know. I think Wednesday is usually like one of the days that I take off. I think Wednesday is one of the days I usually take off because Thursday we got the Thursday Night Football stream. And I might also put up a Battle of Ohio podcast clip on that because like I do the Battle of Ohio podcast on Wednesdays. So I'll put up a clip on a Thursday. And then I'd like to come up with something to do on Fridays, but I don't have anything right now. And then Saturday is another day off for me. And then Sundays, obviously, I do these streams all day. And then, if I have a game where there's a good reaction to come up with, I'll put out like that video. But I want one more thing to complete my content lineup, right? Not that like having 2 videos like of like pretty decent original content a week is not good or anything like that. I just, I know I can do more. So I'm going to try to do more. All right. We are at halftime for the Steelers and the Dolphins. Now, I didn't even check out the injury report. Like, I wonder what we're dealing with this week. So the Steelers injury report is extremely hard to read, by the way, because like they list almost everybody as like their game game status is unspecified. So we just don't know who's playing and who's not, other than like Kello Witherspoon was listed as doubtful and Steven Sims was listed as out. And James Pierre was listed as questionable. But other than that, Cam Hayward, Larry Ogunjobi, Chris Wormley, Pat Freiermuth, which, I mean, we know Pat Freiermuth and Larry Ogunjobi are playing. James Daniel, Mason Cole, Miles Jack, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Levi Wallace, Cameron Sutton, and Kenny Pickett. Again, we know some of those guys are playing, but it just says unspecified on the game status, so you just don't know. On the Dolphins side of thing, there's like a couple of guys listed as unspecified. That must be a new thing because like I feel like every team would just say everybody's unspecified if they could. I feel like the only reason they release injury reports is because they absolutely have to. Whew. Man, what a pretty pass by Tom Brady, and Mike Evans just bobbles it all up and down in the air. It's probably a big reason why things are going south is because it looks like Tom Brady's doing well, and it's just like the team around him is not doing well. So, I mean, that's got to be really frustrating. Like, I left my family for this. Like, what is wrong with you guys? Aaron Rodgers out there looking kind of pissed off, as he should, because the Packers are definitely not a good football team right now. Now, does that mean that they're not a good football team at all in 2022? I don't necessarily think that that's the case, but I do think that right now they're not a good football team. So I do think that right now, I don't know exactly where I'm going to put them in my rankings, but I'll just say this: I don't think we're going to be talking about them in the episode because we only talk about the top 14 teams, and I don't think they're going to be there. Don't know where I'm going to put them yet. I'll probably figure that out after the stream. I'll kind of put everything up and kind of situate everything, and I'll also write up my script for the Bengals reaction video that we'll do tomorrow. What a week it has been, man. What a absolutely interesting week for sure. Because, like I said, the New York Jets, as good of a football team as they appear to be, at the same time, they only managed to put 16 points up on the Broncos. Now the Broncos have a really good defense, and they did hold the Broncos to 9 points, but the Broncos, I mean, it's like really they probably should have shut out the Broncos with Brett Rippon in there. Offensively, the Broncos actually had generally better stats. Like Breece Hall had like 75 yards rushing, and the Broncos didn't have anybody go over 33, which is something. Oh, actually, Breece Hall got 72 yards. My bad. Zach Wilson threw. See, that's the thing, man. Like the Jets are definitely good, but it's clearly they're clearly they could be so much better if they had a really good quarterback. Like Zach Wilson ain't it. I'm sorry, but like I didn't think that he was that good of a quarterback going into the draft, and I still don't think that he's that good of a quarterback right now. I mean, I know he's young, but he's just. I mean, it's like they got a more athletic Sam Darnold in there, right? And I mean, if they're winning and they are 5-2, so that's good. 5-2 is good, but at the same time, like I don't know, it's just like when things start getting really tough, when you start like having to like talk about the playoffs and really making a push when it matters and stuff like that. Is Zach Wilson going to be enough to do what you need to do when you need to do it? And I don't think he is. I think the Jets are a good football team. I don't think that they have a very good quarterback, and I almost kind of wonder if Joe Flacco might actually be a better option. I mean, obviously that would at this if you made that decision, that would mean giving up on Zach Wilson, and then you just have to go like train a new quarterback and everything like that. And you're obviously not there yet with him. But from like what the Jets this season kind of perspective, if they make it to the playoffs, then do you really feel that comfortable like relying on Zach Wilson to be the guy who takes you through the playoffs? Because I'm not. Like, I don't like that at all if I'm a Jets fan. They got so much talent there, right? Like, I mean, Michael Carter, Breece Hall, Braxton Berrios, Ty Johnson, CJ Uzama, my boy. But obviously didn't make the best decision going to the Jets. Although I will say the Jets do have a better record than us. So CJ Uzama, like we beat them, but CJ could probably be like, well, obviously I made a good decision going to the team with a better record. Ho, ho, ho. But the fact of the matter is, when push comes to shove, once the playoffs come around, Bengals probably making the playoffs this year. The way that the way that they, the whole take all of the playoff, like everything that we've seen so far, and I'd say the Bengals are probably, likely to make the playoffs at this point. And so are the Jets. But it's just like once we get to the playoffs, who do you buy as far as making the run? Do you buy the Jets or do you buy the Bengals? Personally, I buy the Bengals. It's like, I know we beat them and it was Joe Flacco in the game instead of Zach Wilson, but I will say, the Jets' biggest strength is their defense, and their defense didn't do a whole lot against our offense. I think we scored like 27 points, and I also like I also said, I don't think Joe Flacco's that much different than Zach Wilson. In fact, he might be a little better. So I don't think that dismissing the fact that we beat the Jets as like that wasn't the same Jets. Like no, it was the Jets. The Jets are still a good football team, and they're not a good football team because of their quarterback. So, that is what that is. Dude, I will say Sauce Gardner has been such a revelation for them. Like that's probably a big part of the reason why the Jets are so good this year is because Sauce Gardner's been playing so well for him. You obviously got a lot going on there. Obviously, like Carl Lawson, is back and actually doing stuff for him, which as a Bengals fan, I'm happy to see. Like, I don't have obviously I kind of wish we would have re-signed him. But then again, if we re-sign him, we don't get Trey Hendrickson. And frankly, I think Trey Hendrickson's the better player. And I think we actually probably got Trey Hendrickson for less than we would have gotten Carl Lawson for. So, the thing is, like, I don't have anything against Carl Lawson. So I hope he does well in New York. And after he got hurt, I was kind of sad because I'm like, oh, man, I wanted to see him do well. Obviously not against the Bengals, but I wanted to see him do well. And now he's got a chance to do well. And, like I said, it helps that the guy we replaced him with is better. But outside of being detrimental to the Bengals, I would like to see Carl Lawson do well in New York. And it seems like now that he's healthy, he's having a pretty good run. So, you like to see that. And then CJ Uzama, man, I know he's not great, but he's being utilized like the tight end he always should have been. Like he's being utilized like a number one tight end, which again, I know he's not tearing up the stat sheet or anything like that, but he's at least getting his opportunities, which he only got with the Bengals after things kind of fell apart with they're he was like their plan C. And eventually they got to the plan C, but you never like being the plan C, right? I actually don't know what his stats look like on the year. I haven't been keeping up that much with him. It looks like in 2022, didn't really play against week 1 against the Ravens. Didn't do very good against the Bengals. I remember that he had one catch, I think, against the Bengals, and it was like, oh, hey, look, it's our boy, but that's about it. So far, he has 34 receiving yards, and no touchdowns. 5 catches. So, how good of a decision was that for you, CJ? I don't know, but I will say Hayden Hurst is better. He's not as much of a culture guy, and I don't like that. But I think the Bengals culture is so good that like CJ was never really like that until Zach Taylor got here, right? Like CJ really kind of started coming into his own as a culture guy once Zach Taylor got here, and I think got the most out of CJ Uzama. But I think it was more of a the situation creating him acting like that than it was him creating the situation, right? All right, Kenny Pickett's going to hand the ball off to Najee Harris as we are back from halftime. And Dolphins are all over that, swallow them up in the backfield. And the Dolphins are going to take back control of this game. Not that they aren't out of control of this game, but if the Dolphins are going to make a statement, then they need to do more stuff like that. All right. Steelers are lining up for 2nd and 11. Kenny Pickett shotgun with Najee Harris to his right. Takes the snap, rolls back. He's got a little bit of pressure in his face, and he is taken down. That's number 15 on the sack, combining with number 94, which is Jalen Phillips. Jalen Phillips and Christian Wilkins on the combined sack. But, dude, Jalen Phillips, like, that was one dude who I was just like, I was trying to, like, figure out in my brain, like, oh, man, if this situation happens, and like this crazy web of, like, you know, if this happens and then this happens and it'll lead to this and then that and then maybe in, like, this miracle situation. I was just trying to figure out some way that Jalen Phillips falls to number 31 so that the Bengals can draft him. Didn't end up happening, but, like, man, Jalen Phillips, I was real excited to see what he could do in the NFL, and that was a good example of it. Anyway, Kenny Pickett's going to dump it off on 3rd and 22 to Jalen Warren, and he's going to get like 12 yards on the play, but it's going to be not nearly enough for a first down. And so the Steelers are going to punt the ball back to the Dolphins. So the Dolphins defense holds strong there. Good to see them doing that a little bit more. What the hell? I just got a notification on my computer. I that I am now streaming the Dolphins-Steelers game, which I've been doing for the last 2 hours. So that was weird. That was very strange. All right, so the Dolphins are going to fair catch the punt. They're going to come out of the short break, and with the opportunity to build some momentum. All right, so it looks like it was caught at the Miami 28. So, you know, that's an okay place to start. Yeah. Like I said, defense did its job, and Dolphins really, really, really need to be able to rely on their defense. Just because, like, you know, we know the offense is explosive, but if the Dolphins really want to be like a highly competitive team, then they need that defense to be more consistent than they've been. Which I think is the main thing. Like, everybody talks about, like, beating the Dolphins is, not much if Tua's not in the game. But the fact of the matter is, like, it's not really about what happens on, the offense. Because, like, the Bengals defense was doing what the Bengals defense was doing regardless of who was on the field. It was basically the same, or if arguably not better, when the backup was in there. But it's really what our offense is doing to the opposing defenses, which is the big thing. Like, the Jets got a really good defense. Bengals still dropped 27 on them. The Falcons, we had the opportunity to drop over 40 on them this week, and then we chose to kneel the ball, which is, I mean, it's fine. I was kind of hoping that we would end up with the 42-24 scoreline that I predicted. But 35-17, I'll take that. It's basically the same ratio. So, I'll take that. It's totally fine. Totally fine. Just me in this stream. Don't have anybody watching right now. That's unfortunate. But that's okay. If you happen to be watching this later, feel free to subscribe to the channel, like the video so that YouTube recommends me more often. And if you are watching and YouTube isn't showing it, then, stuff like that will help more people see that I'm streaming and, give people more of an opportunity to come to my channel and try to get more people in here so it gets a little bit more lively, right? So let's just, do whatever we can. And I think we're going to get there. Obviously, right now it's slow, but that's okay. It was popping the other day when we had that raid, and ever since the raid, there have been some games that have been more interesting than others. All right. Tua Tagovailoa takes the shotgun snap. He's going to hand the ball off to Raheem Mostert, and he doesn't get much, but I think it's about a yard. All right, so that's going to lead to 2nd and 9. You know what I really need? I need like if I'm going to do this, I need to do this with like a color commentator, right? Or maybe somebody else does the play by play and I do the color commentary, right? I think that's why they do that on the radio because it's really hard when you're just doing it by yourself, and especially like in a situation like this where like I don't have any like I don't really have the chat going on, and so it's just like I have to keep coming up with like topics to talk about so that when somebody does pop in, they're not just going to see a bunch of silence. I don't know. I don't have anybody to stream with, unfortunately, that can be as available as I am. As Tua throws across the middle of the field, and once again, that's that man, Jalen Sheffield. Is it Jalen Sheffield? Guy, I still can't remember his name because I only learned it today. That was Jalen Waddle. I don't know why I thought it was Sheffield. I'm thinking of Trent Sheffield, who's number 14. But that's Jalen Waddle, who's number 17, over the middle of the field, and he gets suplexed on that takedown by the Steelers there. But totally fine because get the first down and more. And there's Raheem Mostert, who's going to catch it over the middle and get across the first down marker, fight for some extra yards. Takes like 3 people to bring him down, and he's going to pick about 15 on the play. Dolphins offense once again moving. See if they can get some points on the board. Well, touchdown. I think at this point they're pretty likely to get some points on the board. Let's see. He brings it down. He's going to get it to about the 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21. Jeez. All right. So, yeah, it's the 21-yard line. They're probably going to get points now, but a touchdown would just be real good for momentum. All right, hands the ball off to number 2 and has to really fight through a lot of defenders, but does successfully. Chase Edmonds, by the way, and picks up about 5 yards on the carry when he probably could have gotten tackled for like 1. So, and nobody would have really said much about it too because it's like that wasn't really very good blocking. He just got there. All right. Tua's in the shotgun formation. He's going to motion the man to his left. He's going to fake the handoff to Chase Edmonds. He's going to pump fake quite a few times. He's eventually going to dump it off to Mike Gesicki. After he couldn't really find much to go to, finds the drag route down the middle of the field and picks up about 4 on the play. So, drag routes, the ultimate safety net in life. It's just like, I can't figure out what's going on. But, hey, there's a drag route. He'll probably get open eventually. If it works, it works, right? You just got to do what you can do to get something going. So now it's 3rd down and 2, which is, pretty useful. And did somebody take a timeout? Because the Dolphins are walking off the field. Dolphins took a timeout. Not entirely sure why the Dolphins took a timeout, but whatever. See, I'm just not a fan of that. Like, especially in the second half. Like you want to conserve your timeouts for the end of the game in case you need to make a push at the end to kind of come back and win. So I mean, obviously right now the Dolphins aren't feeling like they're going to lose control of this game, but it's just like if you do, you want to give yourself that opportunity to come back in the game. Worst case scenario, you don't use your timeouts. It just seems like a clock management thing. That's you got to be thinking about clock management throughout the whole game because you only have 60 minutes total. At some point, the clock's going to become a factor. And if you can't control the clock, then you're basically just kind of at the mercy of chance at that point. Dude, I'm going through this water. I'm probably going to have to go get more before the end of the game. Well, I'm definitely going to have to go get more before the end of the game. Anyway, Tua is going to hand the ball off to Chase Edmonds, who goes nowhere on that one. Steelers are all over it on that particular play. And it's going to be 4th down. Dolphins are probably going to have to go for a field goal here. I don't know what's up with the Dolphins' red zone offense. Although they're staying on the field. This is interesting. Dolphins are staying on the field on 4th and 3. This isn't even close. But he takes a shotgun snap. He's going to hand it off to Raheem Mostert, who goes backwards this time. Chase Edmonds, by the way, who goes backwards this time. Matthew, you're back. What's up, bub? Only got a few minutes. That's okay. We're watching this game, and the Dolphins, I don't know why they went for it on 4th down here. You could have taken the points and got up by more than a touchdown. Honestly, the way that your team has been playing all day in the red zone, I don't know why you're choosing to go for it on that, but whatever. Poor decision there, I think, by Mike McDaniel to go for it. Like there's no reason to go for it there. It's like if it's 4th and 1, then maybe. Maybe. But 4th and 3, especially the way that the way that you got to 4th and 3, which was by getting stuffed and not getting a whole lot going on, then I don't understand. I just don't understand the decision to go for it there. Because now the Steelers, if they do get some offense going, they get a touchdown, and they've got the lead, No, they didn't get the first, Matthew. Nope. And I didn't expect them to either. I didn't know really why they were going for it there, because the way they got there in the first place is because they couldn't move the ball. So it's just like, I understand being aggressive and going for it, and that makes the NFL more interesting when it happens. But from a strategic standpoint, you got to pick and choose when you're going for it a little better than the way that coaches are right now. Because the fact of the matter is coaches are putting themselves behind the 8 ball a lot. And they're gambling. They're going for it. And in some cases it works out, but in a lot of cases it doesn't. Let's see. 4th down conversion percentage in the NFL. I looked earlier, and the Bengals is awful. But I just want to see what it is across the whole NFL. I'm actually kind of interested to see what the general 4th down conversion percentage is. So let's see. The top 11 teams all convert at higher than a 50% clip. So that's the Vikings, which have the best, the Raiders, the Rams, the Eagles, the Falcons, the Titans, the Browns, the Buccaneers, the Chiefs, the Bills, and then the Cardinals. And those are all over 50%. And then you got Dallas, you got the Cowboys, the Saints, the Jets, Miami, the Broncos, the Panthers, and the Giants, who are all right at 50%. But it's just like the majority of the NFL is not getting these 4th down conversions more often than they're not getting them. So I don't understand the logic for going for it as much as the NFL seems want to do right now. It's just like, it seems like from an analytical perspective, from a statistical perspective, it's usually a bad gamble to go for it like that. As Kenny Pickett throws the ball to Deontay Johnson, and it's a little too low for him. I actually don't think it was too low for him, but it appears to have been because he dropped it. But he probably could have caught that. I will say Deontay Johnson, not exactly known for having the best hands. He's really athletic. He can do a lot of crazy things when he catches it. And, he can go through good stretches of catching it and stuff like that. But he also has a tendency to have some really bad drops and bad hands from time to time. So that's his biggest issue. All right, Kenny Pickett's going to take the shotgun snap. He's going to throw to Deontay Johnson, who goes up in the air and does catch that one. A little high for him, but like I said, he makes some spectacular catches from time to time. He's really athletic and does some cool stuff. It's just, it's a lot of the easy catches he doesn't make. That wasn't a spectacular catch because nobody was around, but still. All right, Kenny Pickett's going to dump it off to Deontay Johnson again, and that's going to be about a 5-yard pickup. So Steelers offense is rolling. This is what I was talking about with the Dolphins, man. Defense has been reminding me at least the last 2 or 3 drives at the very least. The defense is reminding me a lot of what I've been complaining about with the Bengals defense, where they just they can stop them from getting a touchdown, maybe, but they aren't necessarily going to stop them from going down the field. Deontay Johnson's down, by the way. He's on the ground, and he doesn't look like he's like in serious pain or anything like that, but he is getting looked at by medical staff. So they're going to take a break, and we are going to talk about something else for a minute. Oh, boy. Dolphins, man, I swear to God, if the Dolphins end up losing this game by a field goal, I mean, I know everybody's like, go for it, go for it, go for it lately. But like, why do you have to do that? Because the stats say that it's just not necessarily the best idea. Like at best, it's a 50-50 gamble. But for a lot of NFL teams, the Lions, Chargers, Steelers, Jaguars, Bears, Texans, Patriots, Ravens, Seahawks, 49ers, Bengals, Commanders, Packers, and Colts, you're actually more likely not to get the fourth down than you are to actually convert it. And then, like I said, only the top 11 teams in the NFL are actually doing it at more than a 50% conversion rate. So it's just like, and even then, nobody's really doing it at like a super high rate. Like, I mean, like the Vikings are the best at 75%. So it's not like they've even got like a 90% conversion rate where it's just like, oh yeah, going for it. That's the move that makes sense. It's still a pretty decent gamble because it's like, 1 in every 4 tries you're not going to get. And especially with how close some of these Vikings games have been, that 1 in every 4 tries could really screw you because it's not like you're going to try 4 times every game. So it just seems odd to me. One of my friends says, is Zach Taylor coaching the Dolphins now? It's like, no, man. Like, I understand what you're saying, but like everybody in the NFL is like that right now. I don't understand. Like, I mean, I get being interesting and aggressive, and maybe the NFL, like behind the scenes, is kind of telling people, like, hey, we'll give you like a little extra incentive if you decide to go for it more often, just because it kind of mixes things up a little bit. But it's not necessarily the best strategy. Keeps happening, and it keeps mostly not working, it seems. Kenny Pickett dumps the ball off to Najee Harris, who's only going to pick up about 2 yards on the play. So it's going to be 3rd down and 2 to go. See if the Dolphins can get off the field here. They really need to, man. Like, they really need to, like, bunker down. Especially with the offense just, like, not really, the offense kind of stalling. And there you go. There you go. All right. So the Dolphins do. Kenny Pickett gets it to Najee Harris, who tries to break free and get the 4th down, and he's not able to make it happen. So Steelers probably going to have to punt here. And that's Baker on the stop there. Great job because he doesn't really like wrap Najee Harris up great there, but is able to bring him down. It's really just kind of like bad heads up play there by Najee Harris to not extend the ball and get the 1st down. Steelers are going to smartly punt it away here. And I guess like, that Mike McDaniel is partially thinking, hey, my defense is playing well, so I'm going to like go ahead and try it. If I don't get it, then I can probably trust my defense to like go make the stop. But I don't know. Like, if I had the time, I don't know if I really have the time, but if I had the time, I think I'd do like a video breaking down, like, is going for it on 4th down really making like all the time? Is it really working out more often than not? And I mean, that's a good video idea if somebody wants to steal it. Cause honestly, I don't think I'm going to have the time to do it. Like, I barely have enough time to do the stuff that I am doing, which is reacting to games and, and making videos, not just for myself, but I'm a video editor for another channel, and that's actually bringing money in. And then doing PFF, and then like I'm still I got this other job that is supposed to be starting up here pretty soon, but that's kind of becoming a slower process, so I don't know exactly what's going on there. All right. Yeah, a friend of mine basically suggested that, you know, the NFL teams are electing to go for it a lot lately because Amazon told them so. But I really kind of wonder, like, not Amazon, but I really kind of wonder if, in general, the NFL is trying to incentivize coaches behind the scenes to go for it more often. And that's not necessarily like a tampering thing. Like you're not worried about like the NFL like trying to rig games by doing that because they're asking everybody in the NFL to do it. But they're trying to put out a more compelling product, and it is quite frankly more compelling. It gets people talking about the NFL more when coaches decide to go for it on fourth down, whether it's a good idea or a bad idea. But it's definitely more interesting than punting, I gotta say. Now, I kind of wish my team, or it's and not just punting, but field goals. It's more interesting than field goals to try for the gamble. Now, I kind of wish my team would take the field goal a little bit more often, but I also like. I'm not gonna lie, I definitely talk about it a lot more often when they don't. And it's also like I said, if they're encouraging all 32 teams to do it, then it's not really like they're tampering or messing with the games. They're asking for a little bit more like flair during the games, essentially. Got some good shots of Stephen Ross here, who has had quite a few controversial moments as the Dolphins owner as of late. It's going to be second 11 for the Dolphins, and not a very good first down play there. Got the ball at the 20-yard line. Tua Tagovailoa is by himself in the backfield. He takes a snap, rolls back, shoots, and it is. I thought he intercepted that. I thought Terrell Edmonds intercepted the hell out of that ball, and I looked like he did. And then, like, the ball falls out of his hands after he's well on the ground, and then he puts his hand on his head like he's so pissed off at himself. It must have, like, hit the ground or something. Oh, yeah, okay, I see it. It goes through his hands, and he, like, kind of catches it with his legs, but it's clearly on the ground at that point, and then afterwards bounces out. So that's what I was seeing. I thought it was an interception. And I don't know where the hell Tua was throwing that ball to, by the way. So now it's going to be third and 11, and this Dolphins offense is just stuttering. All right, Tua gets it to Tyreek Hill, but I think he was hoping that he would get out to the outside, but he goes nowhere with it. So the Dolphins are going to have to punt again. Yeah, could have had the points, man. Could be 19-10 right now, but no, can't take the points. I don't understand, man. All right, punt is away. And the returner for the Steelers makes a man miss. Gets up to about the 40-yard line before he's taken down. So the Steelers are going to have pretty decent field position for their play for their next drive. So touchdown gets them ahead. Dolphins defense has been playing fairly well though. So I guess the thought process is like maybe they let a field goal, but hopefully they can just like stop the Steelers from doing much. All right, Kenny Pickett's going to come back out onto the field for the Steelers. Looks like he's going to be under center for this play. He's going to motion Chase Claypool to his right. Going to be a slot receiver on this play. Takes a snap, hands it off to Najee Harris, who gets tripped up at the line, falls forward, does get up about 2.5, maybe 3 yards. All right. Starting to get into the point where you really got to start turning it on here for either team if you really want to make a decisive statement. Although I got to say, it's definitely a more compelling Sunday night football game since the score is a lot closer than it was looking like it was going to be. All right, high snap for Kenny Pickett. Brings it down, gets it off to Pat Freiermuth for about a 2-yard pickup. There's a flag on the play, though. Not sure what the flag's about. I think ineligible man downfield on the Steelers. So usually when that happens, you got a guy who's just a little too eager to get going down the field. That's number 78, by the way. Number 78 is... I don't even have the roster up anymore because I was looking at the injury report earlier. Number 78 is James Daniels, the fifth-year offensive lineman out of Iowa. But yeah, usually when that happens, it's not so much guys like being like, I'm going to go catch a pass. It's more like, I'm going to go get ahead of the blocking here a little bit. And they're like, you can't really set things up like that. Kenny Pickett's going to get it to Deontay Johnson. And he gets out of bounds and doesn't really do anything with that on the play. There's another flag, though. Pass interference on the offense. Pass interference on Deontay Johnson. So all that to pick up 2 yards. Oh, boy. Steelers are kind of shooting themselves in the foot here, which is fine with me. As long as they lose, I don't care. I just want to see them lose and have a bad record. That's all I care about. But yeah, he definitely pushed off on Noah Igbinoghene there. I don't know if he necessarily needed to, but, can't do that either way. So now it's going to be... Doesn't even say 2nd and 23. Okay. Kenny Pickett's going to take the snap. He's going to toss it. He's going to get it off to number 30. Jaylen Warren, who I've said a few times. I just forgot his name. But that's Jaylen Warren on the catch and picks up about 3 or 4 yards on the play. And there's a Dolphins player down. Number 29. Must have come down awkwardly on the hit. Brandon Jones, by the way, the safety from Texas. 4th-year player out of Texas, anyway. And he's rolling on the ground in pain, so he doesn't look like he's doing too good. But hopefully it's just a stinger. But I mean, you never know. Yeah, he had the unfortunate task of covering Pat Freiermuth on that one. And I didn't even see what happened. He wasn't involved in the tackle. Huh. Wonder if this is just another example of the turf eating players' legs, because they're going for that. They're kind of poking at that leg of his. So I wonder if that's what the issue is. But okay, I'm wrong. He does actually get involved on the tackle, and he kind of Jaylen Warren kind of falls onto his legs, so he might have pulled a muscle. And it might be worse than that, but hopefully it's just like a pulled muscle. I hope it's not like an ACL or anything like that, though. He looks like he's in pain, but he also doesn't look like he's in, like, incredible pain, right? So, although looks like he is going to be helped off the field. So, that's not a good sign. So, in addition to Byron Jones, Nick Needham, Keon Croson, and Kader Kohan, that's another injury the Dolphins have to their cornerback core. Man, it's amazing they've been this good with that many injuries. Kind of reminds me of the Bengals a couple of years ago. Like, They just had like basically nobody available at the cornerback position. They were going to they were having to sign dudes literally off the street to play cornerback because they had so many injuries. Oh yeah, and he is being gingerly helped off the field too. So he might just be a warrior because he didn't look like he was in that much pain to me, but he's clearly obviously not able to do much with that leg. So hopefully he recovers quickly. That's all I can really say at that point. Hopefully he recovers quickly. That's all you can say. It's all you can say because it's just unfortunate when stuff like that happens. So we're going to get back to the play on the field now, and the Steelers have a 3rd and 16 coming up. So opportunity for the Dolphins to get off the field here. Really good opportunity, but as I know from being a Bengals fan, it's never a guarantee. All right. Kenny Pickett's in shotgun formation with not Najee Harris, Jalen Warren to his right. He's going to roll back. He's going to have pressure almost immediately. He's going to try to run for it. Manages to avoid the sack, but still gets taken down by Andrew Van Ginkel for about a 1-yard gain. But he gets out of the backfield, so it's not going to go down as a sack. But it's essentially what just happened there was a sack where you ended up getting a 1-yard gain. So from a functional standpoint, it's not that much different than a 1-yard loss. Like a 1-yard gain and a 1-yard loss in this situation basically yields the same result. The result is that you're punting. All right, Presley Harvin comes out on the field. He boots it away. And that's not very big kick right there. It's going to be fair caught about the 31-yard line. Not the best kick in the world. Or punt, rather. Not the best punt in the world I've ever seen. Man, Tua's accuracy today has just been rough. I don't know what his issue is. Because he was really rolling earlier in the game too, Like Tua was really, really rolling earlier in the game. And just right now, ever since the second quarter, really, it's just been man, it looked like the Dolphins were about to run away with this game, and then they just kind of forgot how to play offense. All right, Tua's going to motion Tyreek Hill to his right. He's going to hand the ball off. He's going to evade one tackler, jump backwards. It's Raheem Mostert, by the way, on the run. And he picks up about 1 yard. TJ Watt still hurt. I wonder when he's going to be back. I feel like they're being careful with him because they figure this season's a bust anyway. So you don't want to if you have any hope of being competitive in the future, you don't want to ruin him. But I actually don't know entirely what his situation is right now. But definitely doesn't help the Steelers' offense that they don't have him because that pass rush is not great without him. All right, Tua Tagovailoa is going to take the shotgun snap. He's got pressure that eventually comes on him, but he does a good job of getting out of it. He's going to try to run for it, and woof! He tries to truck through another guy. As much as we're worried about him and head injuries, man, he is fearless. He's trying to be Josh Allen on some of these runs. That's slightly worrisome the way that he's being reckless with the way he's running the ball. Just ever so slightly worrisome. Especially coming off of those injuries, man. I thought I'd turn that on silent, but I guess not. All right, so the Dolphins were unable to pick up a first down and going to punt the ball right back to the Steelers. It's not looking great on offense for either side, really. 37 seconds left in the third quarter. And this game is kind of going down to the wire, mostly just because the offenses are terrible. Kenny Pickett's going to hand the ball off to Najee Harris, who's going to, get to the outside, shifty enough to get around a bunch of different people. Picks up about 12 yards on the pickup. Steelers going to have a first down. Geez, man. I don't know what's up with the Dolphins. Like they came out, they were doing so good at first, and now just like, yikes. Just after what they like after they initially went up, like what was it, like 13-0 at one point, and then after that it was just a whole lot of nothing. Like earlier in this game, man, they went up 13-0 in the first quarter. It was looking like it was going to be all Miami all day. And then just like slowly but surely, little by little, the Steelers just they got their way back into the game with a field goal and a touchdown. And just ever since then, nobody's done anything. So you're really just kind of waiting for something to move. Like, the Dolphins managed to get it back to a 6-point lead. And just ever since then, it's just been a lot of nothing. The whole third quarter was scoreless. Nobody did anything in the entire third quarter after a fairly eventful first and second quarter. So it's just like, it's like it really feels like the Dolphins should be able to win this game, but it's going to be really hard to expect them to win this game when they're playing the way they're playing. There was Najee Harris for about a 3-yard pickup on that last play, by the way. So when we come back, it's going to be 2nd and 7. It's going to be 2nd and 7 at the Steelers' 37-yard line. So, I mean, obviously the Dolphins' defense has plenty of time to get them off the field, but man, tell you one thing, like this is rough. This is rough to watch. What's the score? 16-10 or 13-10? I didn't update it. I'm sorry. It's 16-10. 16-10. There you go. And then Matthew, you said, all right, bye, see you tomorrow or another day. I'm confused. You keep saying you're leaving, and then you keep coming back. Like, I mean, you're welcome to come and go as you please. It's fine. It's just you keep saying bye and then you keep coming back. I'm just like I'm not sure whether you're like leaving or not at any given point. But yeah, bub. Hope you have a good one. All right. 16-10. 16-10 Dolphins. Well, you said you've been in here the whole time, but you're going now. But you also said that like an hour ago, and then you also said that like 2 hours ago. So I mean, like you can do whatever you want. I'm not like upset or anything. I'm just like, you keep saying that, so I keep getting confused. All right, Kenny Pickett's going to fake the handoff to Najee Harris. Is going to throw, get it out to number 83. Is going to pick up most of the yardage needed. So it's going to be third down about 1. And that was number 83 is Connor Hayward. So there's a lot of Haywards in the NFL, apparently. I wonder if he's related to Cameron and whoever else. All right. Oh! Dolphins are going to stuff Najee Harris on the run. He tries to get to the outside, but they bring him down immediately, and it's going to be 4th down. And I would imagine the Steelers are probably going to have to punt. You got like what you got? You're still, you're still in your own territory. Like you can't. Was that Clayton Fitzgerald? That was Clayton Fitzgerald. That was another one of my boys, a former Cincinnati Bengal, by the way, 7th round draft pick for the Cincinnati Bengals. Has since gone on to be a starter with the Dolphins, and my boy Fitzgerald getting that getting that stop for the Dolphins. Good play. All right, and it's going to be fair caught for the Dolphins at the 12-yard line. Yeah, a few minutes ago at 10:10. Well, first of all, you said a few minutes, and it's been 40 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever. But it's like earlier you said I got to go by like earlier back in like the first quarter, right? So I'm just confused. Like, I mean, like I said, you're free to do whatever you want. Like, I mean, I appreciate you for showing up when you did. I thought there's been a couple of times I thought you were done and then you like come back, which again, fine. You're allowed to do that. I'm just confused, right? Somebody just sent me an article about apparently the Falcons mascot tried to fight a kid during a Pee Wee game at halftime of the Falcons' 35-17 loss to the Bengals. What? Let's see what happens here. All right, the mascot tackles the kid out of bounds, and then the mascot starts trash talking the kid. And he goes up to the kid and just starts like pissing him off and like pushing him and stuff, and then like kind of starts a fight. I can't tell if this is supposed to be a joke or not yet, though. I don't understand. That was really, really, really bizarre. I don't know. I would imagine he's probably not actually trying to fight the kid, but that was interesting. Show the video on the screen. What? Show what video? The NFL video? No, I'm not going to do that. I'll get my channel taken down. Are you crazy? Had to eat in the first quarter. Okay. I thought by the way you were talking, I thought you were like leaving in general. I didn't realize you were coming back. But like I said, you can do what you want. But I'm not showing the video on the screen, Matthew. I'll get my channel taken down. I mean, I have other videos I can show on the screen if you want to see like some Battle of Ohio podcast clips and stuff like that. It'll get taken down because of copyright. The NFL copyrights these games, and if you try to show it on your channel, then they'll take it down because you're legally not allowed to do that. The NFL has contracts with like, CBS and Amazon and whoever it is who's allowed to stream these games. And if somebody does it illegally, then, the NFL is going to be very litigious about that. I could probably get sued actually if I try to do that. So I'm not going to do that. All right. Tua Tagovailoa is going to fake the handoff. He's going to roll out and he's going to get Tyreek Hill for a first down. About a 12, 13-yard pickup there. Like I said, it's a lot of chunks, What? Stop. I'm not even going to respond to that, Matthew. All right, Tyreek Hill. What a catch. What a catch. All right, Tua's under center. Pitches the ball to Chase Edmonds, I believe, and he's only going to pick up about 2 or 3 yards on the play, but that's about it. I'm not. I told Matthew. I told your cousin that I wasn't going to play that game, and I'm not going to play that game with you. Okay. All right. Dolphins are lining up on 2nd and 8, and man, just go get some damn points. That's just like can we go get some damn points? Like any at all. All right. Motions Tyreek Hill out to the right. Fakes a handoff. Got a little bit of pressure, and then throws it to Chase Edmonds, who just gets a hand on it, but doesn't do anything with it. Man. Matthew, I'm going to tell you one thing about me. I don't do well being guilt tripped. So if you're going to act like this, then go ahead and unsubscribe. If you're going to act like this, I would love you to be a subscriber to my channel. But if you're going to act like this, then stop. Like if that's what you're going to take away from it, then stop. I don't need this. I don't need you to act like this. You're being ridiculous. All right, Tua, shotgun formation. Going to roll back. He's going to throw. Mike Gesicki, he's got the catch, and he breaks a tackle and brings it down. But it's not able to get it out to the first down, though. So it's going to be another punt for the Dolphins. Like I said, I don't know what's going on with the Dolphins here, but like after a strong offensive start, they've just completely fallen apart. The first time we talked, probably not, because like I mean, unless it was like, you know, like if you're talking about earlier this year when you reminded me that you were my first subscriber, but I feel like I remember you commenting on my stuff before. I don't remember what you said there. So me being mean to you, you're being ridiculous. Xavier Howard's been doing a pretty good job on Deontay Johnson all day. I will say that. Not a whole lot there for Deontay Johnson, and he has been getting some catches. There have been some good ones. There's also been some bad drops too. So I don't really know what to do about that. If you're the Steelers, it's so hard to get stuff going when you have a guy who's that inconsistent, you know? All right, Kenny Pickett's going to hand the ball off to Najee Harris. Picks up about 2.5 yards, I think. Matthew, I'm done responding to you if you're going to act like this. I'm done. I'm done putting you up. I'm just stop. If you don't stop, then I'm just going to keep. I'm going to ignore you at this point. Like, stop. You're being ridiculous. All right. Kenny Pickett's coming back out, and he's going to come in shotgun formation. He's got Najee Harris to his right. He's going to motion the man to his left and pitches it out to number 81. That is Zach Gentry. Zach Gentry with the pitch up the middle, and he picks up about 2 or 3 yards. So the corner who got hurt earlier is going into the locker room now, apparently. All right, Kenny Pickett motioning around, yelling at people to do this, that, or the other. And wasting a whole lot of time, doing a whole lot of nothing. Come on, Dolphins. Kenny Pickett, shotgun snap. He throws, and that's basically to nobody. Chase Claypool is looking for a flag, but I don't know what flag he's looking for because maybe looking for a holding flag or something like that. But it's going to be 4th down. Steelers going to have to punt again. Man, there was so much offense happening earlier in this game, and just it's all falling apart. Just a whole lot of nothing. I don't know what's going on, you know? This is weird. This is really, really weird. All right, Presley Harvin's going to come out once again. The punting formation. Boots it away. And it's going to be caught at about the 15-yard line. And he's going to only go backwards to about the 14-yard line. Terrible. Matthew, I'm legitimately about to block you from my channel if you don't stop. Like you're being ridiculous. I'm legitimately about to block you if you don't stop. Dude, stop. You're being stupid. You're being ridiculous. Stop it. I'm legitimately about to block you. Like you're being ridiculous right now. Much like the Dolphins are being ridiculous. You like that transition? Dolphins are I don't know what's up with their offense, man. It was so good earlier in this game, and then it just completely fell apart. It really started with their inability to convert a touchdown on they got a touchdown on their first drive, and then on their second drive they were doing really good, and then they got stuffed, and it's just like ever since then it feels like it's just really been falling apart for them, and I don't know how you turn it around at this point. Okay, please. if you're gonna stop Matthew, that's fine. You don't have to leave. Just please, like you've been doing that a lot lately. You've been getting mad over completely nothing, and it's starting to get a little ridiculous. Like, I don't want to block you from my channel. I like you, but if you keep acting like this, I'm not gonna have much of a choice because you're gonna start. It's gonna start like making other people feel weird, right? I won't block you, but you gotta stop. You gotta stop overreacting to every single thing. Like every little tiny thing that makes you feel like slightly upset. Having your friends come on here and try to start fights and stuff like that. Like I don't enjoy that. It's not why I started my channel. You gotta stop it. And if you don't stop, then I'm telling you right now, I'm not gonna have a choice. I don't want to block my first subscriber. I really don't. I really, really don't want to do that. So please don't make me. Yeah, go Bengals. I like that. We got 2 people watching the chat right now. Obviously, Matthew is contributing quite a bit to the conversation, but as far as the other person who's watching, if you're new, feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. I do these streams quite often, and I also try to put out as much content as I can. I usually do about 5 days worth of content, trying to get to 6. Just don't really quite have that 6th thing just quite yet. But yeah, feel free to like and subscribe. And if you're not new, welcome back. Put a comment in the chat, and I'll put you up on the screen. As Tua throws to Tyreek Hill, and I believe he got the first down. He ended up coming down behind the first down marker, but I wonder if they're going to give him forward progress on that. Because I couldn't really tell if he came down behind the line of scrimmage of his own volition or not. So you go Bengals and Patriots. I can get behind that. I like the Patriots. I hope the Patriots do well. Obviously, week 16, we're not going to be we're definitely going to be rooting for opposite teams. I won't root for the Patriots in week 16. But outside of that, I'm down. Go Patriots. I've always liked the Patriots. I got a bunch of family up in New England, and they're either Patriots fans or they're Giants fans. So, obviously, one of the two I'm going to be more of a fan of than the other. As Raheem Mostert gets first down after kind of barreling his way toward it. And he's going to get the handoff again and pick up about 9 yards on the play. Your brothers are Dolphins and Jets fans? Like, that's what a rivalry, right? Like, I mean, first of all, you have to have been happy because, like, the Patriots have been – well, actually, I guess the Patriots haven't been – well, no, the Patriots have had a dynasty in your lifetime. And the Dolphins and Jets have been bad. So, Tua is going to hand the ball off to Raheem Mostert, and he goes nowhere with that. So, it's going to be third down and probably about 3, maybe even 4 now. But I never tell you, I obviously never told you, but I actually, when I grew up, like when I was a little kid, I kind of had a bit of a soft spot for the Jets just because I really like that like solid green helmet. And I'm really happy they brought it back too, right? Like I never really liked the white helmet with the with just the Jets logo. I thought that was weird. Dolphins, on the other hand, never really cared much about the Dolphins. And then obviously the Bills, the Bengals and Bills have had kind of an up and down, history over the years. All right, Tua motions Tyreek Hill out to the left. He's going to wind up and he's going to throw. He's going to try to find Hill, and is not far enough for him at all. That was on 3rd and 3, so now it's going to be 4th and 3, and imagine the Dolphins are once again going to have to punt. That's so weird. It's so weird that he would make that decision on 4th and 3 when it hasn't worked all game. But yeah, I kind of like those Jets helmets back in the day. Never really cared much about the Dolphins, although like I said, the Bengals have always had a bit of an interesting relationship with the Bills because back in the 80s, the Bengals and Bills were kind of like rivals as like the 2 big teams at the time. Kind of interesting that the Bills are so good now and the Bengals are good again. It almost kind of seems like destiny. And then they're like Marv Levy was always talking crap about the way that the Bengals used to play and stuff like that, and that was always annoying. And then the Bengals ended up being terrible in the 90s, and the Bills went to 4 Super Bowls, lost them all in the 90s. And then after that, both teams were just kind of irrelevant for a while. And then it's just so this whole thing where the Bengals and Bills fans lately are like, like big fans of each other, partially because Andy Dalton like broke their playoff drought in 2016 with the touchdown pass to Tyler Boyd to beat the Ravens. That was that's why Bengals and Bills fans lately are like, yeah, we're friends. But like, it wasn't like that for the longest time. The Bengals and the Bills were like rivals, back in like, the 80s and, really the early 90s. But the Bengals were terrible in the early 90s. So it didn't stay that way. Much like the Dolphins offense has not stayed the way that we thought they were going to stay. God, even with Tua back, man, like, this Dolphins offense is just like, it's a shell of what it used to be. Man, what a division the AFC East is right now. Like, you got the Bills and the Jets who are doing so well. You got the Dolphins and the Patriots who are both 500 teams right now. Kenny Pickett's going to throw it to Deontay Johnson, who it's going to be another one of those situations where there's a flag on the play though, but it's going to be another one of those situations where like he got the first down and then tried to try to turn around and ended up falling behind the first down marker. So I wonder where you give it to him, but either way, there's a flag. Illegal contact. I think they're calling that on the defense. This is going to be a first down. So illegal contact on Noah Igbenogany. What did he do? Let's see. He kind of grabs him. I don't understand what he did. Was it just because it was before? Because like you're not allowed to. I think it's like you're not allowed to make contact after 5 yards, and I think he was still making contact after they passed the 5-yard marker. So that might have been why there was a penalty. I'm not entirely sure. Chris Collinsworth. I do not understand why he's become such a successful announcer. I mean, businessman for sure. He's obviously, very knowledgeable about football, very savvy and stuff like that. But as an announcer on Sunday Night Football, I've never really felt like I've always felt like, at best he points out the obvious, and at worst he just says like really stupid, mindless stuff. He has been getting better over the years, and as I would imagine, like you get better over time. Kenny Pickett's going to fake the handoff to Najee Harris, and he's going to throw it out to Pat Freiermuth, who does pick up the first down. So that's going to be about an 11-yard pickup. Boo! We don't like that. Don't want to see that. Boo! All right. So the Steelers got the ball at their own 40-yard line. They are starting to move a little bit. Kenny Pickett's going to drop back, and he's going to throw to Najee Harris, who I'm not entirely sure caught that. Yeah, even if he did, it's only going to be about a 1-yard pickup. And they're saying he didn't catch that. Yeah, I thought I saw he bobbled it and it hit the ground, but I don't know. I don't know. Still 16-10, and I'm very bad at updating this banner down here, but it doesn't really matter in this game because there's not a whole lot of scoring. All right. Steelers coming back out for the 2nd and 10 play. Kenny Pickett in the shotgun formation. Motions a man to his left. Takes a snap. Rolls back. Fires to nobody. Nobody. Like, I think that was maybe intended for Chase Claypool, but he was looking the other direction. So, like, I mean, not only did Kenny Pickett throw the ball behind him, but he threw it a couple yards behind him. Like, what was that? I'm telling you, dude, like Kenny Pickett, I don't see it. I don't see him being like a great NFL quarterback. I just don't see it. I don't understand where the hype comes from. Like, I mean, because he's smart. He's got a good demeanor, but that's not necessarily going to be enough. As he throws the ball to Chase Claypool, who's wide open on that play, does get it to him. And I noticed that it's also raining heavily right now. And I'm just now seeing that. But I wonder if that's part of the reason why you're getting some accuracy issues today. But it is raining heavily right now. And the Steelers are in a position where they have to pass the ball a lot. So that's not really where you want to be in the middle of a heavy rain. All right, Kenny Pickett, shotgun snap. He's going to toss it to number 5. That's George Pickens. And he's going to catch it, get out of bounds. That's going to be, I think, another first down. So Dolphins defense is kind of doing a whole lot of nothing right now. All right, yeah, I mean, he definitely catches it. The question is whether or not he got the first down. They're saying he didn't, so it's going to be 2nd and 1. All right, Kenny Pickett, shotgun snap. He's going to throw, got a man, caught George Pickens, about a 4-yard pickup, and that's going to be a first down. Boo. Dolphins defense is not coming in clutch right now. His rain might be coming in clutch, though. Man, it is pouring out there. All right, Kenny Pickett, shotgun snap. Rolls back, throws, and I think it's dropped. I thought he caught it, but then it popped out, like the ground popped it out. And I don't think he really made a football move, so I think they're going to call that incomplete. It's going to be 2nd and 10. Yeah, let's see. Almost, I think it tipped a little bit by Clayton Fajettolum there. Yeah, he gets a finger on it, and I think it makes it a little hard for Pat Freiermuth to like catch it. And actually never at any point, I thought he caught it and it got knocked out by the ground, but turns out he never really like caught it at all. And then the ground definitely bounced away. All right, Kenny Pickett, shotgun snap. Gonna roll back, can't find anybody, but nobody's able to get him. And he gets it to Chase Claypool, who's going to get the catch, and another first down. So it's just first down. The Dolphins defense is just the Dolphins defense looks anemic right now. Like, and I know they've been generally pretty good for this whole game, but right now they look anemic. Can't have that if you're trying to win a football game. Let's see, what's this? Like, they've had 1 third down this entire drive. 1 third down this entire drive. And they've had like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 play drive so far, and they've only had 1 third down. Well, tell you what. Oh, there's a Dolphins player down too. Number 98. He's kind of sitting on the ground getting evaluated. That's Raekwon Davis, who's sitting on the ground right now. Hopefully it's not too serious. He must have just slipped or something like that, because he didn't even have anybody on him, like as far as I can tell. And there was nobody in the vicinity, so it's not like he would have been blocked. I wonder if he just like hit a bad patch on the turf or something. He's getting on the exercise bike, so I guess it must be like a leg thing. All right. Ton of Steelers fans out there with their terrible towels and trying to be like, yeah, let's go. Fuck the Steelers, for real. Fuck the Steelers and fuck their fans. All right. Kenny Pickett's audibling around trying to figure out something. And he motions Chase Claypool to his left, hands the ball off to Najee Harris, who breaks it to the outside, picks up about 8 yards on the play. Boo. Man, you've been playing great defense all day, and you just decide now's when you're going to fall apart, right? Dude, I swear to God, if the Steelers end up winning this game, like, It's just going to be another example of the Steelers being stupid and winning stupid games that they have no business winning. Kenny Pickett's going to hand the ball off to Najee Harris. He gets met in the backfield. Dolphins are all over him, and yet he still extends for about 2 yards. And it was like 3 yards to go, so you got it's going to be 3rd and 1 now. Wonder if that rain's making the players slippery. Maybe that's part of what's going on. I have no other explanation for why the Dolphins defense is just suddenly unable to do anything. All right, Kenny Pickett, under center, is going to attempt the quarterback sneak. I don't think he gets it, but there is a flag on the play. Yep, they're waving that. It's going to be a 4th down, but let's see what the flag is. They're saying there's no flag. Okay, so going to be a 4th down on the play. Oh, illegal shift. Okay. I thought they were doing this. I thought they were saying there is no flag on the play, but that's apparently the motion for illegal shift. So that's on the Steelers. And I don't really know what you do here. Does that restart the play? Is it going to be 3rd down again? Or did the Dolphins decline it because he didn't get the 1st down? So it's going to be Steelers offense is on the field. It's not really telling me what the down and distance is, though. I don't understand. Could we please could you please say something about down and distance? It's gonna be 3rd and 6. That's the down and distance. So I don't know if you can decline that. I think I might decline that because it's 4th and inches, and then I don't know, maybe not because it might be 4th down territory because obviously a field goal doesn't help you a whole lot right now. Kenny Pickett's gonna fumble, but it does go out of bounds, and I don't think he picks up the 1st down. There's a flag on the play though, another flag. They're pointing towards the Steelers again. I think it's going to be holding. So I think we're going to redo that 3rd down again, except the Steelers are going to be pushed back even farther. It's going to get opportunity after opportunity. Yep. Holding on the offense. Dan Moore Jr., the former Miami Red Hawk, I believe. I think I remember that Miami Ohio, obviously being the closest local college to where I live. By the way, actually, I don't know if that's true. It might be UC, but Oxford and downtown Cincinnati are about equidistant from where I live. So I actually don't know which one. I actually don't know if it's Oxford or Cincinnati. If it's Miami or UC, that's closer to me. Most of my life, it's always been UC, but I moved up to Fairfield a couple years ago. So, all right. Either way, 3rd and 16. Okay. Kenny Pickett's going to throw, and it's intercepted. Intercepted. There you go. By Holland, number 8. There you go. That might be it. I mean, it's definitely not it. The Dolphins are going to have to get a few 1st downs. But, Javon Holland, number 8 on the interception on Kenny Pickett. And Dolphins really just if the Dolphins can just stay alive on offense for a couple of plays, then they can probably work towards running this clock out. So that's definitely not it. The Steelers offense can still try to get off the field, but it's definitely going to make it a lot harder than it needs to be because the Steelers haven't been having a whole lot of explosive plays. They've been, meandering their way down the field, and that takes time. So the Steelers, when they do get the ball back, if they get the ball back, who knows if they're going to have enough time to go get, because they need a touchdown right now, right? Because at this point, a field goal does nothing for you, and there's only 3 minutes left in the ball game. If you get the ball back at any point, you're not going to be settling for a field goal. So Tua is going to hand the ball off, as of course you would, and they're just going to run that clock. They're going to drain it as much as they can. There we go, dude. Let's get the Steelers to 2-5. You love to see it. You love to see it because fuck the Steelers. Steelers take a timeout. They let like 8 seconds drain off the clock, though. I'm not entirely sure why they're doing that. They let 8 seconds drain off the clock before they called a timeout. Now they're putting the time back on the clock. I think the clock operator may just not have been aware that somebody called a timeout. So there is going to be 2:45 left on the clock. And so I wonder, are the Steelers just taking their timeouts now? Because, I mean, they got to take them at some point anyway, and this is the last drive. You might as well try to get it all now. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter because you're going to have to take them all on this drive anyway. And the idea is, like, if they get another first down, you're kind of screwed, right? So might as well just take the timeouts now. All right. Tua going to motion the man to his right. Hand the ball off once again to Raheem Mostert. Picks up about 3 yards. It's going to be third down and probably about 3, maybe 4 to go. As I think the Steelers are taking another timeout with 2:41 left to go. And so I believe, actually, that that's going to preserve the 2-minute warning as well. Now, you can drain, like on the next play, you can drain the clock. I guess it won't really preserve the 2-minute warning because, like, if you get a stop here, like if you're the Steelers and you get a stop here, then the Dolphins are going to drain the clock all the way down to, like 2:03 or whatever, and then they'll punt, and then that'll drain you down to the 2-minute warning. And it's not like the clock keeps running after a punt anyway, right? So it doesn't really save all that much. All right. Tua under center. Fakes the handoff. Throws. Almost intercepted. All right, so that's not a good play at all because that keeps that completely stops the clock. So now not only have you preserved the 2-minute warning for the Steelers, but you gave them like an extra 30 seconds. Terrible. I don't like that play. I think you run the ball right there. Even if they're expecting run, you run the ball. Or maybe a short dump off pass or something like that. Just keep that clock running even if you don't get the first down. Because now you just gave them free extra time. Oh, number 29 there, Wallace for the Steelers. Looks like he steps on his ankle awkwardly. And he's injured now. Kind of looks like when when you step on like the side of your foot and your ankle kind of like gets messed up. Yeah, that's basically what just happened there. That was Levi Wallace who's down. So, yikes. He's getting up on his own power though, so seems to be mostly okay. Might have sprained his ankle. I think that's probably what happened there. I think he sprained his ankle. So it's going to be fourth down for the Dolphins, whose offense has just been atrocious after the first quarter. Horrible. There's been absolutely nothing for them today outside of the first quarter. So the Steelers are going to have an opportunity to try to go down and win this game. Now, again, a field goal does nothing for you because, if you get a field goal, because like a touchdown wins you the game, right? A field goal doesn't really change whether, even if you do get the ball back, it doesn't change whether a touchdown wins you the game or not. And 2 field goals doesn't help you at all. I mean, it might tie the game, but that's about it. So, I mean, you're going for a touch. Every down is four down territory. Not every down, but every spot on the field right now is 4-down territory if you're the Steelers because you pretty much just got to go like now. You're out of timeouts. This is it, I think. Because, I mean, if the Dolphins get the ball back, then they're pretty much just going to run the clock out. Steelers have the 2-minute warning on their side, which is useful for them. Although, they're going to have to they're going to actually have to move the ball, which they have not been doing at all today very well. I mean, there has been some movement of the ball. The Dolphins defense has been kind of letting them do whatever they want at times, but they haven't been finishing drives off, which is important. All right, Kenny Pickett, shotgun formation. Najee Harris to his left. He's going to roll back. He's going to throw. He's got Pat Freiermuth in the middle of the field, about a 6-yard, 7-yard pickup maybe. And that's going to get that clock running. Steelers are going to hurry up and try to get another play off before the 2-minute warning, which makes sense. All right, shotgun formation for Kenny Pickett. With 2:09 left, he throws, and it's caught once again. by hard to tell because his jersey came up over his pad. I think it was Fryermuth again. They're going to pick up the first down, and that's going to take us to the 2-minute warning. So we are at the 2-minute warning, and we're pretty much in the final dregs of desperation time for the Steelers. If Kenny Pickett can go down the field and get a touchdown here, then the Steelers can win. But anything other than a touchdown is going to be, it's not going to work. And the Steelers have gotten a touchdown today, but it's only been one touchdown. And other than that, it's been, some decent movement of the ball, but ultimately it hasn't resulted in points, which is important. Steelers have 10 points on the day. Okay. Yeah, man, these power rankings, like this upcoming week, I don't even know what I'm going to do just yet. Like I said, obviously certain teams, I'm going to have to pull the Jets up. I'm going to have to put the Packers down just like last week. But there's just there's so much else going on in the NFL right now. The Steelers, clearly bad. The Panthers, maybe not as bad as we thought. Or then again, maybe the Buccaneers are just a lot worse than we thought. Really, honestly, a lot of the major shuffling that's going on is going to be in my bottom three categories, which we're not going to talk about a whole lot. It's just going to be, interesting to see how everything kind of changes up. It's mostly, and the top categories, it's mostly going to be the playoff hopefuls that might be shuffling around. But the contenders are basically going to stay the same. The Super Bowl caliber teams are basically going to stay the same. And a lot of that is because I think, let's see. A lot of that's because, you got the Vikings, Rams, Bills, Eagles all on bye this week. And all three of those four teams are all, in my Super Bowl caliber. Vikings, Eagles, and Bills are all in my Super Bowl caliber category. And then, the Rams are in contenders. So, it's like you can't really move teams like that if they don't play. Or you definitely can't. You can jump teams in front of or behind them, but I feel like, when a team has a bye week, you have to keep them in the same spot that you had them in last week, unless it's something like, you had a big trade that went in your favor or against your favor, or you had some sort of news story come out that's going to distract your team. Anyway, Kenny Pickett's going to take the shotgun snap. He's going to have pressure almost immediately, and he just got to get rid of the ball. So that's a good play after the 2-minute warning for the Dolphins. Does keep the clock stopped, which is good for the Steelers, but the fact of the matter is, if you don't get a first down, then you can't do much of that anyway. So I think it's really just about trying to see if you can stop them from just stop them from getting. If you can just keep them out of the end zone, then you're gonna be fine. Game's basically over if you can keep them out of the end zone. All right, Kenny Pickett, shotgun snap once again. Gonna throw. He's got pressure, trying to run around, and he gets taken down. Once again manages to avoid the sack because he comes down with about a 2-yard gain. But that's one of the worst possible things that could happen, honestly, because that gets the clock running. It's only going to be a 1-yard gain, by the way, but it's got the clock running. I guess a sack would be worse, but it's basically the same thing as a sack right now because you got to move. All right. Chase Claypool gets the catch on that play. He picks about 5 yards. It's going to be 4th down, and that clock is running. So Chase Claypool, I think, learned from the Vikings game last year that you got to move and not just celebrate. Not that there's much to celebrate on that play. He didn't even get a first down. But it's going to be 4th and 4, and that clock's moving. But it doesn't really matter because it's 4th and 4. If they can't convert here, game's over. All right, Kenny Pickett throws, and it's caught, middle of the field, Pat Freiermuth. And, yeah, he got that. And that's a first down. So Kenny Pickett's let's spike it. Kenny Pickett's saying let's spike it because it's going to be actually a cross midfield at the 48-yard line. So, yeah, I think Dolphins are playing a little bit of soft coverage in the middle of the field, but that was a 20-yard pickup, and you don't want to let that happen, especially on 4th down. You made the Steelers burn a down because they had to spike it, but that's not good enough. Man, that was a nice throw by Kenny Pickett, too. That was like a tight window. That was a tight window, and he threaded that needle. You got to give him props for that. Kenny Pickett shotgun snap. Looks around, throws, got Deontay Johnson short, and he manages to evade a man. He bounces around and looked like he was maybe going to be taken down inbounds, but then he gets out of bounds. So it's going to be 1st and 10, 42 seconds left on the play clock. And the Steelers are moving the ball now, so that's a bit concerning if you're rooting for the Dolphins here, because he got it down to about the 32-yard line. Man. Tua's nervous, man. You can see it in his eyes. Now, the Dolphins do have 2 timeouts for what it's worth. So, I mean, there's always the possibility that they could go down and get a field goal and win the game. But Kenny Pickett's going to dump it off over the middle of Pat Freiermuth to keep that clock running. And Kenny Pickett's going to have to, getting everybody up to the line. And I don't think he's going to spike it. I think he's just going to, do the play. All right, shotgun formation. Rolls back. Looking around. Tries to heave it, and it's intercepted. That's it. That's the game. Oh, no, they're saying he didn't catch it. I thought he got it. I swear he got that. He got both feet in bounds. I don't – we're going to have to see. The official is saying he is not in bounds on that catch. Let's see. Noah Igbenogany catches the ball, and he gets both feet down in bounds. He bobbles the ball a little bit in the air, but he's under control of it before any part of his body touches out of bounds. I disagree with that. I think that's an interception. I think that's clearly an interception, and it's also a touchback. I think that's clearly an interception. I think they're calling that not an interception, but that should. I think that's the end of the game. And now it's looking like the refs are overturning it and saying it is a catch. So yep, it is in fact a catch. It is in fact an interception, and the Dolphins, with 18 seconds left to go and the Steelers having no timeouts, probably just going to need the ball here and come away with the very nerve-wracking victory. Yep, and that's the final kneel down. Dolphins are going to come away with a 16-10 win in a game that's looking like they were going to dominate and then just forgot how to play offense at one point. I don't know why. I don't know why they just completely fell apart and forgot that, offense is a thing. But whatever, it works out. Dolphins only allow 10 points to the Steelers in the entire game. And I think all of those points came all those points came in the second quarter. And outside of that, they just completely shut them out. Almost all of the Dolphins scoring happened in the first quarter. And then just it's been all defense, just 100% defense in the last 2 quarters. Man, that's nerve-wracking if you're the Miami Dolphins. But they do get back in the win column, back to 500 on the season. Steelers dropped to 2-5, and they're in the basement with the Cleveland Browns. Actually, due to the tiebreaker, I think the Browns are in 3rd place and the Steelers are in last place. Yeah, man, that was definitely an interesting one. Maybe not the most compelling game of all time, but no, it was compelling. It was interesting. There was a lot going on. Just it wasn't offense, at least not in the second half. It's looking like it might have been a higher scoring game in the first half because it's the first quarter was all Dolphins and the second quarter was mostly Steelers. So it's looking like the second quarter had the potential of being more of that, but nope, just a whole lot of nothing from the Dolphins and, a little bit of ball movement, but then ultimately an interception in the end zone by Kenny Pickett. So Miami Dolphins come away victorious in this one. And that's pretty much all I got for this week. So I don't think anybody's watching anymore. I think everybody's pretty much gone by now. But that's all I got for this one, y'all. So final score is 16-10 Dolphins victory. Don't forget to check out everywhere else you can find me at Kyle Phelps 92 on Twitter. Here we go. at Kyle Phelps 92 on Twitter, Facebook.com/The Phelps, the Battle of Ohio podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Bengals ATB, atbnetwork.com, which I haven't really been doing a whole lot of writing for lately, but importantly, they've been they're the reason why I have access to StreamYard and I'm able to do a lot of this stuff. So just for the sake of and they still do support like the Battle of Ohio podcast and stuff like that, right? So without their support, I don't know if I'd be able to do this, just because like I'm not making any money doing this right now, and I don't know if I'd be able to pay for a StreamYard subscription and stuff like that. So shout out to ATB Network for giving me access to that. And until then, I will leave y'all as always with a hootie!